1-2.
It's one of those dates you circle on the schedule every single year, and this season is no different. St. Xavier takes the 45-minute trip from Chicago to Joliet, looking for some revenge after the Saints beat them on the South Side last year in overtime, 36-29. This year, St. Xavier comes in winning their last 4 contests, featuring one of the most formidable pass rushes in the league. The Saints come in with a 2-3 record, but it's been an offensive showcase. Averaging nearly 38 points a game, Nathan Mall leads an attack that's as balanced as they come. The question today, can the Bernies maintain that rhythm against a defense built to disrupt? Coming up, the 28th meeting between the Saints and the Cougars on the USF Sports TV network. And good afternoon, Saints fans and Cougar fans. Welcome to week number 6 of the USF football season. Nick Jake is here with Coach Sharp, and like we said in the open, this is kind of one of those days you always circle on the schedule whenever St. Francis and St. Xavier get after it. And there's so many just these little storylines and details and facts about how these two programs intertwine. But I don't know about you, but I've been excited about this one for a while.
Same here. It's a great rivalry game. Now that we're in the same conference together, division of the conference together, it makes even more of a rivalry. The fans love it. We get good crowds for this. It's always a great football game, highly competitive, and I know that Joe and Feminist over there have the kids ready for a great ball game.
Absolutely. It's going to be a lot of fun. Of course, more importantly, this is the start of the MSFA. We call it regular season, I guess, the conference season for the Midwest. St. Francis, St. Xavier are going to start that one off. And what's great about how the schedule works out is that they play the non-conference, the crossover season first. You get those out of the way, and it worked out for St. Francis to have the bye week even in between that. As a former coach, do you kind of like how that played out, having the non-conference first and then getting into the conference schedule?
I think so, because no matter what happens in your non-conference game, now you get another season. Like you have a chance, playoff chance, win your conference. It's something to shoot for. Gives you a chance to evaluate your team, especially first half of the year in the non-conference schedule, and make that push for the final 5 games. So I like it better set up this way. I think it's going to be more dramatic games as we go down the road, and big games that I think will later in the season and for both teams.
You want to talk about dramatic games? You don't have to look too far. Just go to last year up on the south side of Chicago, and St. Francis and St. Xavier last played. St. Francis won that game in overtime. Another overtime game for these two teams. 3 of the last 4 have gone into overtime, but of course St. Francis won that one, breaking a 17-game losing streak against the Cougars. So they come into this game having won the last one. It's got to give you a little bit of momentum, right?
Definitely. I mean, these two teams are evenly matched as you look through, and so definitely having that opportunity to beat them, to win it in overtime in that fashion, that gives a lot of confidence for the coaching staff and team as they move forward.
And these games are important too between St. Francis and St. Xavier specifically, not only because what it can do to the conference schedule and records and looking into the playoffs, but even off-season work. You can kind of talk to kids and recruit a different kind of way.
I mean, there's competition year-round between these two. It's not only on the field, but it's also in the recruiting, visiting a lot of the same kids at the schools in Chicago area. So this is always a big game. It's a big deal. I know it's one that they circle every year.
Let's talk to Coach Curry here. Of course, 14-year head coach here at St. Francis, and no stranger to everything here. But before we talk about that, I'd like to get your opinion on how the schedule works out, playing the crossover games first, and then being lucky enough to have the bye week in between. Well, I call it lucky. Maybe it's not. What's your opinion on the schedule?
I think the schedule was good for us this year. I mean, we always kind of approach it and say, hey, your non-conference schedule is supposed to get you ready for your conference schedule. And every week I talk to our guys. The number one positive is that we're 0-0 still in the league. After today, we can't say that, and hopefully we'll be 1-0. But our non-conference schedule is been brutal. It's been a challenging for us, and hopefully that prepares us for a brutal conference schedule coming up. I think the bye week, I think it helped us, just because it's the last time out we had a sour taste in our mouth, and quite frankly it was embarrassing from a program perspective what we put out there. So we got a chance to work on that, and sometimes 18 to 22-year-olds, they don't really, a lot of them don't buy in until they get embarrassed, and then once they get embarrassed, then they come to. We've had a great preparation for the last 2 weeks, and I think that they're itching and ready to play and get that taste out of their mouth from the last time we hit the field.
For sure.
As you finished the first half of the season, Joe, and you had a chance to evaluate. You had a young quarterback in Nate, a lot of young weapons on offense. How do you look as you see the progression of this team and where it's heading into the last 5 weeks?
Well, I do think minus last week, I do think every week we've gotten better, and we've done some good things. It always comes down to, it sounds simplistic, but blocking and tackling and not turning the ball over. If we can manage to do those things, we've been right there in every game, and our kids have made a bunch of plays, and we found out some things about some guys. Nate, our quarterback, who can we depend on in the passing game, the running game, how we're blocking up front, defensively, who we can depend on up front on the D-line, in the passing game, who we can depend on at DB. So it's been, the last 2 weeks have been good for our staff as well, just trying to evaluate and trying to figure out, hey, we looked at defensively, how do we get our best 11 on the field? Who's our best 11? We ranked them, and we said, hey, okay, how do we get them on the field? So those are always good things to do in a bye week, and made some changes there, and hopefully those things are positive for us today.
Talk about St. Francis and St. Xavier. I know you don't like to call it a rivalry because you got to win a few for it to be called a rivalry, but there's no denying the intertwining of the programs with staff from St. Francis going up to Chicago, and even now some staff from Chicago coming over here to St. Francis. What's your take on just how these two programs have grown together?
They've kind of, I don't know about grown together. We've been intertwined, I would say, but it's always been fun for me to compete against Mike Feminis. He was my D coordinator when I first transferred here to St. Francis in 1998, and always been like a coaching, mentor to me and those sort of things. So it's been one of the, a great rivalry for us as coaches, and I think our players. I mean, a lot of them play youth football here together, and then they go play against each other or with each other in high school, and then against each other in college. So it's kind of like when both sides they start playing football. This is the day in college where they all come together, So it's so it's good. Like you said, I just hope not a rivalry till we start beating them enough. So,
well, you got them last year. Let's hope we can keep it going this year, Coach.
Yes, let's go 1-0.
Go get them.
Yeah,
right.
Good luck, Coach.
The intertwining really is crazy once you start digging into it a little bit. Coach Feminist started here as an assistant coach before he took over the St. Xavier program. Still the all-time leading tackler for St. Francis history in both career tackles and tackles in a game, which is, we'll go over that later, but the numbers are pretty crazy. Mark Yanul, the offensive coordinator across the way, started here as well. You worked with both of them when you were a coach here. What's it like from your perspective seeing the guys that you worked with and coached with on the field together today?
Well, it's funny. It's almost like a proud papa feeling. You see these guys that have come through the St. Francis program as excellent athletes. You recruited them. They come through. They do well. And then they go on, like you said, Mark's offensive coordinator over at St. Xavier. And, of course, Mike Feminist. He's coaching like he played. He was a winner, he's a competitor, and he does a great job, but he knows where his roots are. He's very fond of his time here at St. Francis, and he took what he learned at St. Francis over to St. Xavier, and that's part of their success. So, yes, it's a proud moment watching all these guys and seeing them and doing so well in their profession.
Absolutely, and of course, St. Xavier's taking a lot of St. Francis guys, and we're starting to take some St. Xavier guys. Justin Pringle, the former wide receiver for the Cougars the last 4 or 5 years, now an assistant coach here in the Brown and Gold, almost like two program brothers almost growing up, and to that point there's actually literal brothers on the field today as well. Nick and Anthony Nisikowski, offensive linemen for both teams, so it could not be more intertwined, is what makes this rivalry so fun to watch. And even better than that, the games have been extremely close, so hopefully we get another fun one here today. Kickoff is just a few minutes away here on the USF Sports TV network.
It's a small school, but it's mighty in that it changes your life when you go here.
The experiences that I gained and the life lessons that I learned while I was here are something that I continue to carry with me. I'm proud to hold 4 degrees from the university. I wouldn't have gone back time and time again if I didn't think that this was a quality education.
No matter where you are in life, with the right people, the right school, and the right support, you can do anything.
Your career is limitless after you go to the University of St. Francis.
And the Saints taking the field here at Memorial Stadium in Joliet. Good afternoon, live from high atop Joliet Memorial Stadium. St. Francis hosting St. Xavier for the 28th time since the two started meeting back in the year 2000. And it seems like every single game, every single week, every single year, this game is a good one, regardless of records, regardless of rankings. It's always fun whenever St. Francis and St. Xavier get together. Coin flip happened a moment ago. St. Xavier won it. They elected to take the ball first, and we take a brief moment for the national anthem. As you saw with the shot of the American flag during the national anthem, weather could be a factor today. Wind certainly will be, as it's been blowing pretty good out of south, which is making it pretty warm here today, but also could be bringing some thunderstorms later in the afternoon as well as the game progresses. We'll keep an eye on that. St. Francis coming in at 2-3 today under 14th year coach Head Curry. They have wins against Lawrence Tech and Madonna, losses to Taylor, Siena Heights, and Indiana Wesleyan. The Cougars are 4-2 here, Coach Sharp, but they've won their last 4. They started 0-2, losing to Indiana Wesleyan and Wisconsin Whitewater, but then they've rattled off the last 4 in a row. Madonna, Lawrence Tech, Defiance, and last week a 26-20 win over Siena Heights. So they're coming in surging into this game.
Yeah, they really like the play of their quarterback, D'Ambrosia, that's kind of taken over the last 4 games and done an excellent job. So I think this is going to make for a great game. It's going to be great to see how the Saints come off after their bye week. And I know Joe said he emphasized fundamentals, blocking, tackling, and not turning the ball over.
Well, they're going to need to tackle right away as St. Francis will take care of the opening kick. Going right to left, that means they are going south to north. Wind is at the back of Adrian Guerrero. St. Xavier ready to return with 2 deep men right near the goal line. Adrian Guerrero, number 61, having a pretty good year so far. 4 of 5 from field goals, hit a career-long 46-yarder just 2 weeks ago. Kickoff underway. St. Francis and St. Xavier for the 28th year. Here we go. Return for the Cougars starting at the 3. Outside beyond the numbers and out of bounds around the 25. Nice return to start things off from return specialist Quinn Callahan, the junior out of Plainfield East. St. Francis taking this defensive side first, and a lot of shifting and moving around with that defensive lineup here, Coach. Trey Sayers, who we thought might have been gone for the year with a knee, is going to give it a go today. Starting linebacker Nick Franciscovich serving a suspension after getting kicked out of the game a few weeks ago. That moves Rob Baranowski up to starting linebacker. And then you have wide receiver Agsan Branch, who has a cast on his hand, so not a very effective wide receiver with that. But he went up to Coach Curry and said, hey, what can I do? They put him on the defensive side of the ball.
Fantastic.
Love it. D'Ambrosio, the starting quarterback, going to start with a quick out and a completion past the 30-yard line. They're saying getting about 5 or 6 or so to Ronnie Foster, his 14th catch of the season out of Peoria Heights.
Coach Curry and Coach Miller with a new wrinkle today. 4-man line. Their normal 3-man line that they've been playing for most of the season.
for decades.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're going to go 4 down linemen, which is something new. I don't know if they've been able to scout. 6 yards on the pass and catch, 2nd down and 4 for D'Ambrosio and the Cougars. The clamp and the snap. Hand off to Price. Only about a couple there, so it's going to be 3rd down and short for St. Xavier. Mario Price, their bell cow back. 94 carries, 429 yards, and 5 touchdowns. He has just about half of the amount of carries for St. Xavier.
Well, one of the things that Joe emphasized when talking about the 4-man line was the size he's going to have in the defensive tackle position. A lot of beef up there, and that's going to be helpful in stopping the run.
And correct myself, Tyrese Lee, that bell cow back, and they hit him at the line of scrimmage. He's not going to get it there on 3rd and short. That St. Francis 4-man front showing its teeth early.
Well, that's what he talked about, having some size over the lineup over the guards, get some penetration, create havoc in the running game, reestablish the line of scrimmage. Excellent job by the Saints front there, forcing a punt on the first series.
You would think, but the St. Francis defense not setting up for a return here. They might try to go for it here unless they have some sort of key that they line up and then punt it. But D'Ambrosio is going to go under center. Are they going to go for it here on 4th and 2?
Under center. You got
Trips receivers right. They're going to motion one to the left. They're going for it here on 4th. They're going to roll him out. He's in some trouble, D'Ambrosio, but he's got a blockers in front of him. He's going to pick it up with his feet out near midfield to the 49. Carson Hansen tracks him down from behind. A broken play. St. Francis thought they had him, but D'Ambrosio using that offensive line to break free.
St. Francis did an excellent job of covering on the little rollout right. They had the routes in the flat and in the flag. They had it covered perfectly, but D'Ambrosio was able to bust out of there for the 1st down.
Tyrese Lee, that big running back to the right of D'Ambrosio. 94 carries, 430 yards, averaging just about 4.6 per touch here. New set of downs for the Cougars. Another quick out pass, a diving attempt. Looked like it was caught. It was at the 45-yard line of the Saints. You can give them 7 on the play. Oh, looks like they put it at the 46. So 6 yards on the completion, 2nd down and 4.
Yeah, short drop. They had a soft corner over on the left side. Run a quick out there, about a 6-7 yard out. Got the ball out. Nice catch, a diving catch out of bounds.
Corners are off again, so we'll see if they just keep taking what the St. Francis defense is going to give them here. Ambrosio in the gun. Lee to his right. Motion left to right behind the quarterback. They're going to throw. Here comes pressure, though. Stepping up. He could have ran it if he wanted to. Decided to pass it. He got it to Foster. A contested catch, but a great job by Ronnie Foster, the senior, to haul that one in. But a flag behind the defense.
It's a place where you normally get holding.
And there it is again. They're going to wipe off a big gain for the Cougars because of a holding penalty. And you know, holding penalties aren't great, 10-yard penalty, but they're even worse after you run a great play. But I guess usually the holding is what allows time for the great play.
Basically, it becomes a 30-yard penalty there. Take away that big gain. Again, it's the Saints front four creating havoc in there. That time they got a hold. You can see it right as D'Ambrosio stepped up. You can see the hold right there. Same formation. They got the 4 receivers.
2nd and 14 after the holding penalty by the Cougars. 4 wide receivers set again. Lee to the left of D'Ambrosio. The clap, the snap, no drop. Quick out again. And a broken tackle for a first down. Nicely done. It's Lee out of the backfield, I believe. Was it 21 or 81 on 81. The catch? 81, pardon me. Charles Campbell, the sophomore.
Boy, he showed some moves after the catch there. What a beautiful pass. St. Francis brought a linebacker underneath, so they kind of double covered the outside receiver there. He had the corner over the top and the linebacker underneath, and he threw a perfect ball and a great move by Campbell to get extra yards.
3rd first down of this opening drive for St. Xavier. Trips left here with the ball on the left hash of the 40. Check down. It's Price out of the backfield. Richards will have to chase him down. The leap out of bounds. Ryan Bannis pushed him out of bounds around the 26. That'll be enough for another Cougar first down. They are marching here and just taking what St. Francis is given.
Well, they like this formation with the 4 wide receivers, two receivers each side wide. They were able to run off the coverage and sneak the back out of the backfield for a big gain.
St. Francis defense led by Captain Carson Hansen, that middle linebacker, a junior out of Wilmington. Leads the team in tackles, sacks, and tackles for a loss. Same formation flipped, right side, trips right. Price to the left of D'Ambrosio. See if they can cover those receivers. They're going to go end zone one-on-one, but there's 2 Saints there. What a great catch by Foster. What concentration. Oh, I thought he kept the feet in. But the referees, there were 2 of them right there, said he did not. Did he hold on to the ball? Because it really looked like his feet stayed in bounds.
That was close.
That was a great catch, great effort by Foster.
But I'll tell you what, they put the 3 wide receivers on the short side of the field, snuck the back out of the backside, and nobody covered him. He was wide. If they would have dumped the ball to the left, to the running back, he had green grass ahead. So that might be something you see him come back to. Now they're putting the 3 receivers on the wide side of the field.
That means everyone shifts that side. 2nd down and 10 after the incompletion at the 27. Lee on the ground on the sweep. Great blocking for him, but Hansen comes in and cleans it up after a gain of 3.
Oh, nice pursuit by Hansen. Great angle, good tackle. That's what Coach Curry said they worked on, was that tackling and blocking, and you can see it there.
Carson Hansen brings up 3rd down on the tackle. One of several players out of Wilmington High School, about a few miles south of Joliet. Another great high school season down there as well. Just keep them coming, Coach. We'll keep the Wildcats coming up here to the brown and gold.
Anytime.
Yep. 3rd down and 7. 2nd, 3rd down the Cougars have seen on the drive. On the ground again, breaking 1 tackle out to the 20-yard line. New running back into the game.
Yeah, they created a nice block inside. It opened up a beautiful hole, but boy, did it close quickly.
That was Joey Thompson getting the carry for St. Xavier, a junior out of Homer Glen, a transfer in from Western Illinois out of Mount Carmel High School. 4th down, and they're going to go for it again. Instead of going for the field goal into the wind, they're going to go for it on 4th and 4.
Watch for the running back in the right flat here. That's what they're going to look for.
Snap to D'Ambrosio. Running back goes to the right flat, but they're going to go long, and it is incomplete. They were going for Foster. It was overthrown. Nate Shute, the safety, almost had a hand on it, but Ronnie Foster, the wide receiver, had to be the one to deflect that away, preventing what would be another interception for St. Francis.
Great coverage on that time. That time our linebacker to that side picked up the running back coming out of the backfield, and we had good coverage over the top as well. So that was the same route they ran, but then they went to the trip side. This time they went to the single receiver side, and St. Francis covered it extremely well.
Picked up 1 4th down on the drive, but not that second one. So here comes Nate Mall and the St. Francis offense, averaging 37.6 points per game. Play action, quick out, and that one's picked off. It's going to be a pick 6 for the Cougars. If you can't get it into the end zone offensively, they did it on defense. Cam Manley's second pick, the 8th for the team, and the Cougars take the lead on a pick 6.
Well, play action. The ball kind of floated out there a little bit behind the receiver, and a great break on the ball, and picked it off clean for an easy pick 6. They showed that.
Cam Manley, the sophomore out of Curry in Chicago, takes it for the first points of the game. Good snap on the extra point. Kick is away, and it is good for Christian Casillas, their freshman kicker.
Well, he was the nickel back, and he was reading the eyes of the quarterback, reading Nate all the way, and just the route looked wide open at first, and he broke on the ball from the safety position to make the interception.
You know, one of the keys to this game, I think, was going to be turnovers, but I had it specifically fumbles. Fumbles have been a real problem for St. Francis. 12 fumbles. They've lost 9 of them already through the first 5 games. Interceptions have come up every now and again. I wouldn't say Nate Mall has thrown a ton of them, but, you know, throwing them like that deep in your own territory, that's going to really bite you.
Yeah, it's as we all know, turnovers.
Yeah, it's Nate Mall's 7th interception of the season compared to 11 touchdowns.
Oh, he spied that really well. He read the quarterback, made a break right as he released the ball. We had no chance. It was picked and right in the end zone.
St. Xavier will kick it off for the first time. Carl Bew will stand back to return. Single return man at the 8-yard line. We'll see if they give him a chance to return it. How do you make that decision if you want 2 guys back there or 1?
I think a lot depends on where they like to kick the ball. Obviously, in this formation, it looks like Xavier might like to dump that ball around the 25-yard line, so they're playing their men there. And if they like kicking deep to the corners, then you put 2 men back.
Casillas kicks off. It's going to be over Carl's head, bouncing at the 5, and thankfully into the end zone. That was close, but it did go into the painted area.
Yeah, it looks like they're just reading where the open spots are. That's where we're going to try and kick it to.
All right, just spotted him 7 here, Coach, and here comes the offense again.
Well, it'll be great to see how Nate reacts here. Come right back out. He's a competitor. Get the offense set. We haven't really even established anything offensively. Just get out here and see if we can get – I think, you know, you were talking about part of your keys of the game. My keys of the game was the running game. It'd be nice to see us get off, run the ball well. We got those 3 great running backs. So it'd be nice to see if we could establish that and then set up the play action. It looked like they came out going to try and use the pass to set up the run on the first play. Let's see if we can get back. They're in the pistol position.
Yep, Gavin Day, the tailback here for St. Francis. Tight end right. Here comes the middle blitz. They ran right at the blitz, and Day had nowhere to go on that one. He wanted the run, but I'm not sure running straight up into the defensive line for St. Xavier is going to be a key to success here, because they have been very good up front. While they have allowed points, that defensive front for St. Xavier has been doing the job, especially when they know it's a pass, and they can get after him. I believe 12 sacks or 17 sacks actually on the season so far for St. Xavier. And quick to the line goes the Saints here. On the ground again, same play, and same result for St. Francis.
Yeah, Saints trying to do a little tempo offense here, but the right side of the defensive line for Xavier is just standing up our linemen, and boy, those linebackers feel quick. So they're not allowing any movement from our offensive line, and creating seams for the linebackers to come in and make the play.
4-3 defense. They're just going to run off the corner, picked up on the blitz, fired over to that was that's the other tight end, Ryan Urisic, but knocked away at the last second. 3 and out for St. Francis.
All little crossing routes there. Trying to get first. They were playing man-to-man. Excellent coverage. Reached the right hand in there and raked the ball away. Good pass by Nate, but just a great defensive play to knock the ball away.
Now comes Adrian Guerrero, the kicker for St. Francis out of Willowbrook. About 35-yard average on punts. Hit a 48-yarder earlier this season. Looks like St. Xavier's coming after it. And they are. They're going to have to pick it up. They do. Nice kick. End over end will be returned from the 33. Hit immediately, and down he goes. Great job for St. Francis. Michael Hackman on the special teams tackle.
Excellent tackle by Hackman. Good punt with the pressure coming in. So we're able to flip the field position here a little bit, see if our defense can, they played pretty good that first series. They held them on 4th down. And
here comes St. Xavier for their second offensive possession. Don D'Ambrosio, their senior quarterback out of Andrew, 53% throwing this season, 6 touchdowns, 6 interceptions. Not the real high-flying, high-powered offense we're used to seeing from the Cougars, only averaging 21 points per game. But their defense is doing pretty well, also allowing just 20 points a game. Interestingly, St. Xavier has scored a total of 123 points this season. They've given up 122.
Wow.
Now, we're used to seeing St. Xavier throw the ball all over the yard, score in the low to mid-30s per game. There's the snap and the give. First down run. Nowhere to go. St. Francis closes the door there. Run by Jacob Fisher, the junior running back out of Southwestern High School.
Nowhere to run. Plug that middle pretty good, the defensive line for the Saints. And nowhere to go. This 4-man line is showing up to be working pretty well for Coach Curry this first half.
They gave him 1, 2nd down and 9. Similar formation. Looks like they're going to go with that 4 wide receiver set. Screen pass. See if those running or the offensive linemen can get out there. They do, but sneaking in from the backside of that play for St. Francis. Looks like it was Nico Frisk, the Lockport product on the defensive line. One of those 4 defensive linemen.
Frisk made a freak play on that one coming down the line. Look at the pursuit by the Saints defense here. Look at everybody coming down the line. They did a good job holding up the blockers on the screen and let the cavalry come and clean it up. 4 wide receivers, 2 by 2.
Looks like Thompson to the left of D'Ambrosio there. See if St. Francis brings any pressure. They're just going to rush the 4 here on 3rd down and 9. They're just going to rush 4. Sling, it's knocked away, but it caught. It was deflected at the line, but still complete and a first down for the Cougars out near the 50-yard line. It was complete out to Cam Hopkins, the freshman out of Minooka High School, there to haul it in.
Well, the Saints, they ran a little stunt here. They took the outside guys, brought them up to the inside. As you can see there, see them come inside. That created the pressure. They were able to get a hand on the ball, but unfortunately, even with the tip ball, they were able to make the catch and get the first down. But when the Saints aren't bringing blitzes, they're using some games up front. They had the 2 outside ends rush up the middle, and the 2 tackles go outside. A little game stunt that they played, and that's the play.
First down, trips left here for the Cougs. Play action. Here comes pressure, though. D'Ambrosio able to escape again. Hansen there to meet him after a gain of 5. They give him 6 on the forward progress. Again, the Saints thought they had him dead to rights, but he escapes again.
Boy, what an athlete this quarterback, D'Ambrosio. As you can see, he's dropped back here. Here comes the delayed blitz. Excellent call. They got him dead to rights, but look at him sneak through a little gap and is able to get upfield and get some positive yards.
And D'Ambrosio, not the fastest quarterback we're going to see, but smart enough to know when to tuck it and go. 2nd down and 4 after the 6-yard scramble.
Empty backfield, 5 wide.
3 right, 2 left. Snap back to D'Ambrosio. They're going to quick pass. It was deflected. Did he get under it? No, incomplete. Nate Shute nearly had another interception.
Boy, again, that off the Saints' right side, Great penetration, hands in the air, blocks the pass. You know, you see Xavier running those quick drop, quick three-step passes, and the Saints are getting their hands up and creating difficulty in finding passing lanes for D'Ambrosio.
3rd and 4, but they've gone for it every 4th down, so you got to think they're going to keep doing that here. So 2 more downs for St. Xavier. Another empty backfield for D'Ambrosio. Another 4-man rush, another wide receiver screen, and another wide receiver screen shut down by the Saints. They're going to go for a loss of 1 back to the 45-yard line.
Boy, as D'Ambrosio turns his shoulders to throw, the Saints linebackers and secondaries are breaking so quick to the screen, including the defensive ends. Look at how fast Richards gets out there.
An injured Saint on the far sideline. Nate Shute was there at the point of attack. And if that's him, he's been one of the stalwarts for the secondary for St. Francis. Kind of writhing around there as the Saints training staff kind of took a while to get out there on the other end of the field. Can't see a number, but just judging by how he looks there, I think it's Nate Shute.
This is where you look at losing Franciscovich. You're so thin now, but yeah, he's up. He's running well.
That's good.
I'll tell you, it was Alan Richards really made that play. He read the play right away. St. Francis reading their keys very well on defense. As soon as D'Ambrosio turned his shoulders to throw the ball out to the flat, Richards flew out there, forced the play back into the inside, which allowed Shute to make the tackle. I really like the way the Saints defense is pursuing, especially on these wide receiver screens. As you can see right there, it comes up, you see Richards forced it in, and then Shute comes up and makes a good tackle.
Yeah, he made a hit there, kind of rolled off. 4th down with the Cougars are going for it every 4th down. That sure makes it interesting here, doesn't it?
Did they even bring the punter on?
I don't think so. I don't know if they have a punter. Oh, they're going to get him on a false start. It's a live play, though. They're looking downfield, and why wouldn't you? They're launching it down to Foster, makes the play. It's intercepted, but it's not going to matter. Carson Hansen's just going to take a knee, and that's going to come back. That's going to give him a 1st down, too. It was 4th down and we'll call it 4.5. Yeah.
Oh, those things kill you. I think he just, he changed the count. When a hard count, they did the clap. Where they clapped their hand for the snap, and
which they do every time, too. Yeah, you got to know that that's coming. And penalties have been an issue for St. Francis. They've had double-figure penalties and over 100 yards in penalty yardage each of the last 2 games. So it's one of those things that you hope they cleaned up during the bye week. See our referee there, Tim Duffy, today, and his crew.
And it may look like it's just a 5-yard penalty in the final stance, but it was 4th down to give them an extra possession here.
So every yard after this kind of adds to that, is associated to that penalty.
Exactly.
On the ground, Lee finds a hole into the secondary for St. Francis and continues to pull him out to the 27-yard line. That's going to be enough for the 1st down, about 12 yards on the carry from Tyrese Lee, the senior.
Well, they ran a little zone play, ran across the formation. That's the first time we've seen him run to the right side that time. And the Cougars had good blocking there, so we'll see if they're going to continue maybe to attack that right side.
1st down, they put it at the 29. Tyrese Lee, 4 carries for 16 yards so far. That one the most effective so far, and he gets it again, sweeping left. Nice cut up between the hash marks and the numbers. He was cut off on the outside by Michael Hackman, the safety, but make that Lee so good, able to elude.
It looks like, they get the defensive line to align to the running back side. Maybe they adjust or slide a little bit to that way, and they're running back across the formation to the other side, and have found great success there.
2nd down and 4. Rushing for the Saints, but again, nobody's spying D'Ambrosio. He's going to go again at the 10-5, looking for the pylon, and he's going to go out of bounds shy of the touchdown, but it's going to be 1st and goal near the 3 or 4, depending on where that official is standing. Hard to tell, but another headsy run by Don D'Ambrosio. He only has 42 total yards on 50 carries. Now, sacks, obviously, scrambles behind the line, those all add up, but D'Ambrosio doing some work with his legs against the Saints today. I'm not sure they expected that.
Well, you brought up a good point. There's nobody spying on him. That may be an adjustment that Miller may make with their middle linebacker or free safety. They may have to take him out of coverage and spy the quarterback.
1st and goal. Another designed quarterback run this time. Has to cut it upfield near the goal line. He's a bit shy, but he nearly got in. Nico Fresk had to take him down. And here comes the big package, the iceberg package, as you see the run from D'Ambrosio.
Again, Richards forced that back inside. Saints' pursuit has been excellent. Their effort's been excellent up front, but D'Ambrosio is just so slippery.
Jumbo package in for St. Xavier here on 2nd and goal from the 1-yard line. Tush push. Yep. They're lining up for the tush push. The flag comes in.
That's set. They weren't. Yeah. I don't think they were set. That changes things.
Yes, it does. 2nd and goal from the 1. Now 2nd and goal from the 6. See if they change the package out there. Yeah, they will. Take some of the big boys off and put some of the skills back on here on, I believe it's 2nd down. They changed the down marker, but I don't know if they should have. No, is it?
It should be. It's 2nd down,
yeah.
I don't think, because of the penalty.
The referee's looking over there right now, I think, trying to change it. Yep. 2nd and goal for the Cougars at the 6-yard line after the penalty. Corners are off again. Motion. See if D'Ambrosio picks something up there. They're going to go one-on-one against Banis. It's overthrown. That was about 7 yards out of bounds on the play.
No chance for that one. That was way out of bounds.
Now it's going to be 3rd and goal.
Yeah, they motioned, hoping to get one-on-one, but with man-to-man coverage, they saw his man-to-man get one-on-one, but good coverage at the top. Forced the ball to throw it out of bounds.
And almost ran into our friend in the wheelchair over there. No one's safe on the sidelines. You know, look out. Came right at her. Here's D'Ambrosio ready to go here on 3rd and goal. Of course, 2 more possessions. They go for it every 4th down. D'Ambrosio looking right, fires. Picked off by the Saints, but he got, oh no, he took it out of the end zone. And he is ticked, and he threw the ball. And now it's going to be a penalty.
What is going on?
Well, he picked off the ball. I think he wanted to stay in the end zone, but he went out, got angry, and threw the ball to like the middle of the field, and that's going to draw a penalty. They're going to be on the 1-yard line anyway, but a tough spot for Nate Mall coming up here in the offense.
Well, great turnover there for the Saints. Intercepted the ball in the end zone. And we go back to the penalties. We said how the penalties hurt the Saints. Well, here's one that really hurt St. Xavier. They had a 1 yard to go. They got a penalty, make it 6. They end up throwing the ball, getting an interception. The Saints, again, it's a big play by the defense, but now, because we didn't take a knee in the end zone.
Take a look at it again. I'm not sure he could. His momentum kind of took him out, which is why he was so frustrated. Oh, this is the throw to the corner where we almost hit our friend in the wheelchair. Oh, that was close. Yeah, you can't. You're on the track. You think you're safe out there, but no one's safe around here. Here come the Saints offense. They've only run 4 plays so far in this quarter. Only 49 seconds to go. St. Xavier's run 22 plays. St. Francis has run 4. One of those was a pick 6 for the Cougars. In the tough spot here, they're coming for the safety.
Oh, we moved.
And
well, that's only going to be an inch and a half penalty.
Oh,
half the distance.
A malfunctioning referee mic on Tim Duffy out there.
I mean, that point's almost touching the white line. I've never seen anybody this deep in their territory.
Do you almost like roll out in a quick throw over to Bew? And I guess hopefully you don't throw a pick, but the corner is pretty far off out there.
You got no help with the safeties here. If you even just catch it and just throw a deep fade, a little.
Bew's wide open. They are going to try to throw it. They are going to fade it to Little. It's perfect to Ryan Little out to the 20. Breathing room for the Saints on the first catch for Ryan Little today. Did you call that or what? Nicely done, Coach Sharp.
Well, they were bringing the safeties up, Nick, to try and help with that run, thinking St. Francis was going to just try and wedge it out of there. And you mentioned before the game talking, you get little one-on-one, you got to take advantage of it. So there it was right there.
Little's going to be slot right on this particular play. A 20-yard pass play for St. Francis, and another flag on the Saints. Come on, boys. What is happening? The 5th penalty already on the Saints, and we got a few more seconds to go in the first quarter. Tim Duffy, our referee, spying on things.
You just don't want to keep playing behind the sticks, you know.
Blitz comes, picked up, throwing, it is complete, but covered is Ryan Little on the crossing pattern. They at least get the penalty yardage back, so 2nd down and 10 coming up for the Bernies.
Yeah, you call it. They brought a delay blitz off our right side from the outside, but Nate was able to get the ball, rid of the ball quick. Nice catch there. Got us back to the original line of scrimmage.
That brings us to the end of the first quarter. Saints trying to get some kind of offensive momentum here, but they trail the Cougars 7-0 here on the USF Sports TV Network. Welcome back to Joliet here at Memorial Stadium. St. Francis and St. Xavier for the 28th time. It's the 3rd longest rivalry for St. Francis. They played Olivet Nazarene 32 times, St. Ambrose 30 times, and St. Xavier here the 28th game. As we flip sides, St. Francis now going to be battling into the wind for the next 15 minutes. Carl Bew left, Ryan Little right. They've only run 5 plays. We'll see if we can get the ball in the hands of some playmakers here. Here's Maul to throw. Looking downfield, nothing there. He's going to tuck it and go, looking for a little help blocking, but he's going to get sandwiched about the 25. He picks up 5 on 2nd down, 3rd and 5 on the way.
Excellent coverage. They're trying to look for Friddle on a crossing route, and Cougars did a great job of covering it in their zones. It's great that Nate was able to get out and get positive yards on there for third manageable here.
Pretty young defense for the Cougars. 6 underclassmen on defense, including 3 along the defensive line, but they've been playing very well this year. 3rd and 5, snap to Nate. Little on the slant and nearly intercepted. He led him just a bit too much to bring up 4th down.
And they took 3 defensive linemen out, brought in 3 a DB, a defensive back, and 2 linebackers in. And everybody was all stand-up defense. They tried to create some games inside for pressure, but what a great break on the ball to knock that away. That looked like for sure a 1st down for us. Great defense.
Guerrero. Yep, go ahead.
No.
I'm just talking about the kicker. You want to talk about the defense, I'd rather hear about that. No offense to Adrian.
Sorry about that. Sorry about that.
They needed some personnel out there, too, as Ryan Little makes his way. Mike Carver will be the long snapper, back to Guerrero, and the punt is away into the wind, extremely high. Fair catch called for and made among about 4 Saints. If Foster didn't catch that one, that'd be a problem for him, but he did, and St. Xavier will have decent field position at the 40-yard line.
Yeah, there was a little stress on Foster right there.
Yeah, they were staring him down, weren't they?
Yeah.
Of course, you talk about the Cougars, and it's really all about head coach Mike Feminis, who took over the program after about 3 years or so of underperforming teams when they started, and he's been there for 27 years, 223 wins, a national championship in 2011. And we can go on and on about that guy and what he's meant not only to St. Xavier but here at St. Francis as a player and coach as well. Play action, they're going to look downfield. D'Ambrosio looking, finally escapes. Hansen's going to have to chase him down. He throws on the run. It's short and nearly intercepted. That was a dangerous pass. Michael Hackman nearly had his 5th pick, but it did fall incomplete.
Boy, he's so elusive. Like trying to catch a rabbit back there, the way he's running in and out. But again, he made some ill-advised throws coming off his scrambles. You know, look at the penetration we're getting from our front four, as you can see there on the highlight. Breaks out to his right.
And there was a holding penalty. They called St. Xavier for a holding as D'Ambrosio was trying to scramble, so you march him back 10 yards as well. So they accept the penalty. It'll be 1st and 20, back to the 30-yard line. They need to get to midfield for a first down.
When your quarterback's running around like that, that's going to happen because you don't know where he's at and you're blocking. You're blocking a man one way, and then he breaks the outside. You end up grabbing him by the jersey to hold him up.
St. Francis bringing pressure, quick throw to the outside. Makes one man miss. Alan Richards went flying on a great move by Charles Campbell, but the cavalry came in to limit it to a 6-yard gain.
And Campbell's got some quick feet. Look about here, the little hitch route, throw the ball out to the boundary. Look at that little cut there, and then an excellent tackle.
Old Alan's going to hope that tape magically gets destroyed between now and next practice, the film session, I think.
Under control. Got to be under control when you're attacking that.
2nd and 14, 13:24 to go in the first half. See if they try to bring some pressure again or use that brand new 4-man front. They're just going to rush the 4. D'Ambrosio surveys, nothing there. Dumps off. That's a fumble in the backfield. St. Xavier jumped on it, though. Dangerous play from D'Ambrosio, but it's going to be a loss of about 8 on the fumble. He tried to pitch it, lateral it, to I believe that was Tyrese Lee back there, but he wasn't expecting that. And that really sets up St. Francis's defense here. First time we'll see C.J. Reeves back at nose tackle.
That is, I tell you what, the way he's playing dangerously with the football, we're going to get one.
Nearly picked off 3 times. And a fumble there from D'Ambrosio. 4 wide receivers, 3 linemen, but Carson Hansen, the linebacker, coming up. We'll see if they rush 4 or they just rush the 2. They're going to rush 4 with a flag.
Delay a game.
Wow, yeah, tack on another 5.
Off it. It's been a penalty-filled first half here. I see the Saints maybe running a little, some twists here, little games. Maybe they got a lot of pressure the one time when they brought the outside ends up through the inside, looped them inside. Let's see if they do that again.
5 DBs on the field. They're going to go with the quick pass. And they're just going to make some room here, I think, for 4th down. Now do they go for it on 4th? 4th and 13? I'm not going to put it past Coach Fem and Mark Yanul over there. We haven't seen the punter yet from St. Xavier. Now it looks like they are going to bring the special teamers out. Here comes Aiden Shepard, their sophomore punter.
Well, he made the bus then.
We have a sighting, yes. And one of the better return men in the nation, Connor Engstrom, number 10, back to return. 9th in the NAIA with his 12.1 punt return average. Good snap to Shepard. He gets it away. Low kick, but Engstrom called for the fair catch. A flag comes in there. Is that going to be on St. Francis?
Come on.
Flag came in, and they're going to came from behind Engstrom, the returner. See if the referee's close enough to pick up his mic here.
During the kick.
Yep.
Holding return team number 4
on a fair catch, boys.
From the end of the kick. First down.
It's a fair catch.
St. Francis doing everything they can to make this hard on themselves offensively. So instead of the 30, the line of scrimmage now the 20 with 11:53 to go. St. Francis lucky to be down 7 here. Already 5 penalties.
2 goal line stands by the Saints, though. Big this.
Nate Mall rolling, throwing, has Little near the 30. Might be a little bit shy of the first down, but a nice, safe run, moving Nate Mull out of the pocket.
Boy, I really like that pattern, Nick, because they ran a wheel route and then curled. The outside receiver curled back, as you can see, curled back to the inside. And that, the St. Xavier has really been getting guys coming out in the flat hard. They overrun that hook area, and they're able to hit him for a big gain.
Gavin Day's carry straight at him. Was it enough to get the 1 yard for a first down? It's going to be real close. I think they got it. I think they're going to give Gavin Day the 1 yard.
Looks like it, yep. Saints back on the ball. Going to go a little tempo here once they set the chains.
Gavin Day's third carry, only 2 yards. First down, though. New set of downs here. Nearly bobbled the snap, but picking it up. But I believe that was the running back Aaron Larkin's first touch.
Well, everything we heard.
Oh, that was Stringham. Pardon me.
Stringham.
He's your inside running guy. I know you're a big fan of number 30 here, aren't you, Coach?
Yes, I am. I'm a big fan of Stringham, the way he can run, and he always gets good forward lean, gets positive yards. But we're seeing the front four as everything we were told they were.
Yep. Blitz outside to Little, and a lot of contact there at that top of the route, but no flag comes in. Another incomplete pass. The pass game for St. Francis today really just non-existent. They have that one pass that went for 19 yards to get them off the goal line, and that's really it.
St. Xavier secondary is very quick, and they break on the ball so quickly. As you see here, as we're throwing the ball out to the flat, watch how quick their corner breaks on the ball. That was McClellan.
Third down, and they have 7 on the line of scrimmage. They will rush 4. Picked up by St. Francis. Nate's going to escape, throw, and again, so well covered downfield, trying to get Jake Friddle, but great defensive effort by their main secondary defender, Taj McLennan, the junior out of JCA.
Boy, he had a great series there. Excellent job. As he breaks the ball here, watch again. Right there, rips the ball out of the hands. I thought Nate Mull did a great job of escaping, squaring his shoulders to give us a chance for that first down. But, again, excellent play by McLennan.
Adrian Guerrero on again to punt it away, again into a pretty stiff breeze, around 15, 16 miles an hour out of the south, which is right into his face. Good snap, point down, extremely high hang time, and again, having to make that catch, and he does. Nice catch by Quinn Callahan. Offense a bit stagnant, but the defense keeping them in the game here.
That defense has been playing very well. I think this four-man front has given St. Xavier some problems, particularly in their running game. They've been able to create pressure. Ambrosia's just had to, be an athlete. What do we got here?
Is there a penalty?
I didn't see a flag.
Well, defense is going on into the field. Why are they putting the ball all the way back there? What happened?
Again, at 5.
Oh, no, that's not the defense. That's the special teams. Are they going to make him do it again?
Must have been a running into the kicker or something. No, a penalty on the Saints, so it must have been offsides or something.
Another one. I
saw
didn't get an indication, did you?
No.
Well, they're going to punt it again. It was a good one by Adrian. Coach Curry, I'll tell you, not extremely pleased. Guerrero's going to have to put another one sky high. That one had to skip into his hands. Good job by Adrian. How did he get that one off? Sending Callahan back to the 25. Right. Holy smokes. That is a 60-yard punt on a skipped snap. That is impressive by Adrian Guerrero.
Just fielded it.
My goodness. And he got away a boomer.
That penalty actually benefited the Saints. The game.
Yep.
A few more yards on that punt, push them back to the 25.
That was one of the more impressive plays we've seen from Adrian Guerrero. That's well done by him, just a sophomore.
Yeah, to be
and another flag comes in. What is this one now?
Offense, 12-minute formation.
There you go. Too many men on the field. This has been an extremely dirty game. I should say, messy game.
It's the penalties have been more than that we've seen all year.
Yeah, we have 6 penalties, probably 7 if you include the one that was on the kick, and now the 4th on St. Xavier. 1st and 10 is now 1st and 15, back to the 20.
And that penalty is just organization. You know, you got 12 guys on the field. Those things should never happen.
Price motions, fake to him, screen pass. Cuts it back inside. We're going to get a horse collar tackle on Alan Richards.
St. Xavier has had very little success on their wide receiver screen. St. Francis doing an excellent job of pursuit, holding up the blockers, forcing the play back to the inside where all the pursuit is coming. And
did he get his hand inside, or was that jersey? Or is it doesn't really matter anymore?
No, it's the back. If it's jersey or the shoulder pads, it's the back there that pulls it down.
So 1st and 15 becomes 1st and 10 on the 15-yard penalty. New set of downs up to the 35-yard line for St. Xavier. St. Francis is not getting out of their own way, and now it's starting to creep in on the defensive side of the ball.
See if we get a play without a penalty here.
Ambrosio with the clap. Second clap. There's the snap. Going on the outside route, but an inaccurate throw. Looking for Ronnie Foster near the sideline is incomplete.
Yeah, it seems like D'Ambrosia's had a little difficulty throwing the ball to the outside. He's been overthrowing. We saw the one go onto the track by the goal line. Now this one on a deep corner pattern. There's a tendency to float that ball a little bit and getting a little bit out far in front. So his accuracy has been challenged in this game.
It was Ryan Bannis in coverage for St. Francis, the cornerback. 2nd down and 10. 4 wide receivers again. 4-man rush for the Saints, and a ton of room there for D'Ambrosio. He's going to slide for the 1st down at the 45-yard line. No one had the quarterback again.
He may have started that slide a little too early,
Oh,
Nick.
he did, yeah. They're going to say 3rd and 1 now. A little bit of hope here for St. Francis.
But that is a great weapon. It's like automatic. He dropped back, he checks 1, 2 receivers, and then goes. It's like 1,001, 1,002, no one to throw, I'm going.
See if you can see where he starts the slide.
Yeah, right before it's where he starts it, not necessarily where
he touches or ends.
Yeah.
3rd down and 1. Keep an eye on the quarterback, D'Ambrosio. They do spy him, throw down the middle of the field. It is complete at the 50. Nice little easy pitch and catch to Markel Porter, the senior's first catch of the day.
Well, with the success D'Ambrosio has running up through the middle of the field, and you start spying him, it's going to open up a little zone areas in there, like a little curl route to the inside that may open up some windows there for D'Ambrosio throwing in that intermediate passing game.
New set of downs for the Cougars.
Soft coverage on the corners.
Sweep left. Great blocking by the wide receivers for the Cougars. Coming up to make the stop for St. Francis, Michael Hackman, a pickup of 9.
That's been their best running play. Running a little sweep like that instead of running up the middle. Have the running back run across the formation, and they're getting a good seal off there in their zone blocking. The receivers coming down, blocking to the inside, creating a nice running lane, as you can see there.
Joey Thompson, the ball carrier for St. Xavier. 2nd down and 1 again. Coming up on 8 minutes to go in the first half. Inside run this time. Breaks through the second level, and it's Lee met rudely by St. Francis linebacker Alan Richards.
Well, Alan Richards having a great half. I don't know how many tackles he has yet, but he seems to be around the ball all the time. As you can see here, linebacker gets caught inside. Here comes Richards from the outside with a great tackle. His pursuit has been excellent.
Tyrese Lee, one of the bigger running backs we're going to see. They list him at 6 foot. That might be a little shy. 215 pounds.
He's a load.
Yeah, he's a big boy. 1st down, though, for St. Xavier. Lee again reverses field and not going much of anywhere. Defensive line recovers to take him down for a loss of 2.
Defensive line strung that out real well. Watch out. Right here to the left side of our line. They get on top. Look how he string it out, force them back inside, and that's where your pursuit is coming. So excellent job of not allowing him outside. They set the edge very well in that play.
Matthew Source, number 47, in among the tacklers. Brings up 2nd and 12. A huddle there from St. Xavier. Same formation, though.
They may look for the back out of the backfield again. There he is, wide open.
Didn't throw. They're going to go downfield. Wide open a little further and pushed out of bounds. And that is going to be enough for the first down. Completion to Cam Hopkins again.
That's the 4th time they've run that play where they put trip receivers to the wide side of the field, and then they run a little high-low route. You got we used to call a smash route. You got a deep flag with a back in the flat. And it's hard to cover the back coming out. So as soon as the safety stepped up, you had one-on-one with the corner and a great read by D'Ambrosio.
Play action. D'Ambrosio looking into the end zone, and it is intercepted.
Yes.
He caught it, and is he staying in bounds?
Yes,
he did. It's the first takeaway from St. Francis today. Guess who it is? Michael Hackman. His 5th interception. He was tied for 4th in the country with 4, and now has his 5th.
Again, excellent defense. They're running 3 receivers. They got 2 guys right together there. Great interception, great coverage. That's, twice now. Turn them away in the end zone.
So far, the best pass catchers have been defensive backs for both teams.
I mean,
St. Xavier scored a pick 6, and now Michael Hackman with a pick in the end zone.
2 goal line stands.
Actually, that's the second interception because they had one in the first quarter. You're right.
They had the 2 goal line stands, 1 interception, and then that one.
A Wildcat here with Johnny Sorensen. They give it to Bew. Nope, he fakes it to Bew, but he fell down in the backfield. I'm not sure if he tripped over an offensive lineman or what.
Again, good penetration by Xavier. Now they're making mass substitute. 2 linebacker-type players replace 2 D linemen. So we'll see if they do that stand-up defense again where nobody's in a 3-point.
Johnny Sorensen's going to stay in the game at quarterback for St. Francis here after the loss of 4. 2nd and 14. Stringham's behind him. A little more traditional offensive formation here. Tight end right. Snap to Johnny. Fake to him. Johnny's going to try and keep it, but oh my gosh, look at the wall of Cougars on the left side. Sorensen just did nothing and actually retreated a few yards. So the Sorensen experiment after 2 plays has come to an end, and it ended with a loss of 9 yards.
Well, you can see here the Xavier put in all these skilled defenders, and it's took size out and replaced it with quickness.
Well, I think, and the reason, too, is Johnny Sorensen has never been in the game where he hasn't run the ball. He has no threat to throw.
Right.
Nate Mall is, and he completes downfield to the 30-yard line. First catch of the game for Mason Hackman, the sophomore. That's going to be enough for the first down.
Boy, that was great effort to catch the ball and then to get forward to get the first down. Right here, he catches it and he moves right into to make sure he got the first down there. Excellent pass catch, big play.
2 brothers competing for a interception and a big completion. This one a quick pass outside, and right back to Mason they go for a pickup of 5.
Another quick hitch, corner playing off soft. Very impressed with McLennan, who just breaks so quickly off with the balls in the air. Very quick feet by number 7 out there.
Jake Friddle, tight end right. Carl Bew now in at quarterback. He's going to hand it off this time for a gain of 2. I believe it was Stringham, the ball carrier. We have now seen our 3rd quarterback of the game for St. Francis.
Well, Bew gives you that triple threat out there.
I wonder if Gavin's is. Let's see where number 12 is on the sideline. If Nate Mall's okay.
There was Friddle went in motion and fake. If you may see Bew pull that out and follow Friddle right around end. Could be a big play for us.
3rd down and 3. They give it to Day. Going outside, tripped up at the 39. It's going to be close. I don't think he got it here, Coach. I think 4th and 1's coming up.
Boy, he's able to knife through and come underneath the lead blockers on that play to make the tackle. Just keeping it short. As you can see here, we got 3 guys pulling out, and he comes underneath the pulling tight end and was able to make the play. As they turn the corner, they got to have an eye on the inside to see someone come from inside out.
St. Francis is going to go for it. 4th and 1. Carl Bew will take the snap. He's got Stringham behind him. They're going to load up the box.
He's going to keep it.
They are coming. Carl's going to try to keep it, and he makes something out of nothing. He was dead in the backfield, but he just sprinted left and picked up 2. Whew, Carl Bew saving the drive for St. Francis, and here comes Nate Wall back onto the field.
Well, there's an athlete there, a quarterback. There's the play fake to Stringham, the big back. They pull the tight end to draw the attention of the defense. He fakes it to Stringham and then goes the opposite way for a little misdirection and a first down.
Cam Manny, the stop for St. Xavier. First down at the 41-yard line. Yards hard to come by, but St. Francis still on the field. Here comes a blitz by the Cougars, bringing it right up the middle. Throwing to the outside. Friddle's first catch of the game to the 45. Slammed down at the 48-yard line. A pickup of 7 for the Saints.
Great play by Nate there. He saw the blitz come up. It kind of hesitated the count, so he couldn't time the blitz off very good. He knew that he had one-on-one with the linebacker with Friddle and made a great read and got the ball out.
2-minute warning here as you see the pass out to Jake Friddle, who has been a revelation on offense here for St. Francis in his senior year, but he's never been more involved in the offense than he is this year. Friddle's got now 10 catches for over 200 yards, 3 touchdowns. Last year, he had just 5 catches for 49 yards, so it shows the more the trust, more the involvement in the offense for 88.
Oh, yeah, the Friddle effect. You got him as a great blocker.
Beast defensively for St. Francis. He was one of the first recruits for this football program in its history, and still is your all-time leading tackler. 469 career tackles and had 1 game with 29 tackles. So still the record holder for career tackles and tackles in a game for St. Francis. Here's Nate Wall on 2nd and 4. Up top to Friddle in double coverage, unable to get it. Incomplete.
Again, McLennan breaking on the ball. This guy's all over the place for St. Xavier. Yeah, you were mentioning Mike Feminist.
Yep.
Yeah, he was the very first St. Francis recruit that committed. And really thinking 40 years ago, seeing him play on the field here, he was every much a great player as he is a great coach.
Snap
Outside
back to
blitz.
Wall. 3rd and 4. It was tipped at the line and sails incomplete. Another 4th down. I'm likely going to have to punt it away here.
Yeah, they brought an all-out blitz, going to try to force you to throw the ball underneath, and maybe hurried them up a little bit with that pass with that outside blitz coming off the left side of the Saints line.
Can't tell you the improvement Adrian Guerrero has made as we see Ryan Little getting ready for his special teams assignment here. But Adrian has been the kicker here for 2 years. Last year a bit inconsistent, but he's really put in a lot of work and has been a weapon for St. Francis this year. And snap back and nearly blocked, but a boomer again. Fair catch called for and made at the 11-yard line for the Cougars. So field position game working for Adrian Guerrero.
Yes. And I'll tell you, after the way he fielded that last snap and got the punt off the previous punt, that was pretty impressive.
The returner was Stephon Gist for St. Xavier, who happens to be their leading receiver in catches and touchdowns. But I don't believe he has a catch yet today. We haven't called his name yet. And so that's a weapon that they have that we haven't seen yet.
No. Well, I think one of the things that's probably frustrating feminists is their lack of ability to run their wide receiver screens. I'm sure that a lot of those receptions and yards, the Saints have done an excellent job of shutting down those screens and then getting enough pressure to force D'Ambrosia out of the pocket to try and make plays.
Corners are off. 1 safety back is shoot. St. Francis will rush 4 inside carry. Thompson takes it to the 15-yard line to pick up 4 yards.
Yeah, they try to run like a little delay, a little draw play there, but Saints did a great job of reacting back.
And here come the umbrellas and hoods. as the drizzle begins to fall here in Joliet. See if that affects the game. It was another nice inside run from Thompson to pick up another first down.
St. Francis is kind of in their 2-minute defense, you know, and it's a little softer inside, and so they're able to pick up some yardage running, but that's okay. St. Francis, you can run that clock.
Ambrosio going to pick it up again. A flag comes in. Nice open field tackle for St. Francis. Savion Wilder again, but we'll have to check out the penalty here.
Yeah, it looked like holding there.
Second down.
There you go.
Yeah, we had a little blitz there, and I think he got tackled right as by the defensive tackle there. I mean, excuse me, by the offensive tackle, tackled one of our blitz.
First down and 20 now.
I think it was Hansen that got held. Shot through there pretty quick.
Thompson still back there at the running back spot, left to D'Ambrosio. Another 4 wide receiver set, evenly split. Ball at the 12-yard line. St. Francis will rush the 4 again. Thompson again on the ground. They got him behind the line, and down he goes at the 9. They're going to lose 5. Great pursuit.
St. Francis used their timeout, so they
Carson.
nope, they're going to let it run out, and
14, 13. If you got timeouts, why not here on, I guess, 2, you have to get 2 downs out of it.
Second down.
Yeah.
So they let it run out, and they get the ball to start the half.
That was Carson Hansen on the tackle for a loss, by the way. Now 4.5 of them, I should say 6 of them, 6 tackles for a loss now this season for Carson Hansen, leads the team in that category. No offensive touchdowns in the first half. The only score, a pick 6 on the first offensive play for St. Francis. Other than that, it's been defense and penalties. We'll see if both of the teams can clean things up and start moving the ball a little bit more in our second half. We'll be back in just a minute after this break. It's 7-0 Cougars here in Joliet on the USF Sports TV Network. Halftime here in Joliet, and the clouds rolling in. The skies darkening a bit as we get ready for the second half. A few thunderstorms south of the area right now. They have turned on the lights here, so those are going to take effect as they warm up. And hopefully the teams start warming up a little bit more, Coach, because there hasn't been much offense to talk about. 7-0 the score. That came on the opening possession for St. Francis. First play of the game was a pick six for St. Xavier. Since then, it's been trading punts and penalties.
Yep, punts and penalties. That's the story of the first half. Saints defense playing very well, but our offense only has 69 yards of offense on 23 plays. St. Xavier not much better. St. Xavier has gotten down in the red zone, and the Saints defense have stiffened up there and turned them away, getting 2 turnovers in the end zone and then stopping them on down. So it's been a great. If you like defense and you like punts and you like penalties, this is your game the first half.
And
anyway.
who doesn't love punts and penalties? Welcome to our game today, everybody. Especially our featured game of in the country today. We appreciate you tuning in, but I expect that to change a little bit. These head coaches have been around too long not to make the proper adjustments. We've talked enough about Feminist and his 27 years, but Coach Curry's been around for 14 years leading this program. He's a 3-time Coach of the Year as well, so got some smart guys on the sidelines who undoubtedly are going to make some adjustments here.
And both those guys come from the defensive side, so they're probably really happy with their defense. And yeah, I think we'll see a little bit more things open up with the offense this half. Let's hope the weather stays away. You look at Mike Feminist, who's done a great job over at St. Xavier, Joe Curry too. 2 coaches that have great long tenure right now. Joe at 14 years and Mike at 27.
There's Joe and his head offensive coordinator there in the yellow, Matt McCarthy, talking some things over.
Outstanding offensive coordinator McCarthy at St. Xavier's side. Mark Unewell is the offensive coordinator. I remember 40 years ago I was in the driver's ed room at Notre Dame Niles High School recruiting Mark Unewell to come to St. Francis. And he played center for us, and him and his quarterback came with us from Mishka. Paul Mishka was a great quarterback here, but it's great seeing those guys again, before the game. And you brought up a good point of all the interconnections of the 2 programs and see them both be very successful. And it's a type of program that you'd love to send your son to because they're being coached by great men.
Yep, and a lot of families in the area do. You look up and down the roster. I think on the 2 deep for St. Xavier, which would be 44 guys. I saw 3 that were not from the Chicagoland area. It's incredible, from Plainfield to Schaumburg to Oak Lawn to Evergreen Park to. Also, the entire area is scouted so well, not just by St. Xavier, but St. Francis as well. And that's what makes this game so fun. Like you heard Coach Curry say in the pregame, all these guys wearing brown or white today have been playing with or against each other since youth football. That's why this game is so great.
It is, and there's so much great talent in the Chicago area. And it's one of our selling points about St. Francis is that your family can see you play.
Yep.
You play here at St. Xavier or St. Francis, they can see you're not, often playing somewhere out in South Dakota or something. You're playing here in your area. You know all the guys. It creates for great rivalries and a lot of fun.
You might be wondering, why are they giving us the stats? Well, there's not much offensive stats to tell you about, to be honest with you. 62 yards passing for Nate Mall. Leading rusher only has 5 for St. Francis. Interesting little kickoff coverage as this one goes out of the back of the end zone. Carl Bew not going to get the chance. So what's the purpose of running 2 guys up just to the side of the football? Is it just a different look, something to think about?
Maybe. They may have a little onside kick off of that where one of those guys will run up and kick the ball, like dribble it to the side, or maybe they saw something the way the Saints line up their return. And so now they bring those guys because they kicked the ball middle that time to give you the extra coverage guys down the middle of the field.
All right, we'll see if St. Francis can do something here behind freshman Nate Mall. Tight end left, motion out, goes Day. They're going to look downfield. They're going to find Day on the circle right at 45 to the 50, 45, 40. Pushed out of bounds right before the 35. All they did was send Day into the flat and then run the wheel, and nobody covered him. Little new wrinkle from the St. Francis offense.
Great call. That's something they probably saw the first half, came down immediately, say this is what we're going to open the game with. Look for Gavin on the wheel. It's a difficult route to cover, the halfback coming out on the wheel route, especially when he's in a tailback position like this.
A little bit of spark for St. Francis offensively. Another quick throw to Ryan Little at the 30. Quick 4. They give him 4 yards on the play. 2nd and 6 on the way.
No huddle. Again, they're taking what the defense gives them there. They had soft coverage, 2 curl routes.
Little pace here. Connor Engstrom slot left. He hasn't had a catch today yet. Ryan Little out wide right. Jake Friddle tight end right. They're looking left. Pump fake there. And we're going to get a hold from Gavin Day. Nice completion downfield to Friddle, but it's not going to matter.
We got a lineman downfield, too. Number 57 was downfield, so.
I saw it from up here from Gavin.
Yeah.
And again, penalties are just, I think, destroying any momentum St. Francis has today.
Right, we're going to have 2 penalties on this play.
2 fouls on the play. Ineligible downfield. Offense, that penalty is declined. Holding, offense, number 5. That 10-yard penalty will be accepted from the previous spot. 2nd down.
So it was 2nd and 6, and then a pass complete to around the 10 or 15-yard line. So 2 great plays by St. Francis, wiped out by penalties again.
And they had a tempo going. This just disrupts their rhythm of the offense.
St. Xavier showing a blitz look here on 2nd and 15. Here comes it from up the middle instead. Nate's going to step up. He could have ran, but he threw it to, I believe he was looking for Friddle, but he had all the room in the world to run on that play if he wanted to tuck it and go.
Yeah, he could have got some good yardage up along the right sideline there. As you can see here, drops back. Here comes the blitz up the middle, and Nate's been able to split that blitz right there.
He stepped up. Look at all that room.
That was dangerous. The ball sailed on him there.
There's Ryan Little, hoping to be a target here on 3rd down and 16. The referee's going to stop play here. More confusion on the down because the down marker did not flip on the far side of the field here. Now they got it right. Third down play for Nate Mall and company. Need to pick up the blitz here. They're going to bring everybody. House blitz. Nate checks it down. What a play call, but a great tackle from behind. That could have been a big play for St. Francis. What a fantastic play made.
Great call against the blitz, the middle screen. As you can see here, they dropped. Then they let the rush come through, form the middle screen. The problem here is
you saw Hackman jumping up and down, saw the potential on the play. It's 4th down, but St. Francis is going to go for it. And another, timeout. Yeah, timeout called by St. Francis as well. I believe that was Taj McLennan, the all-world cornerback for St. Xavier, who came up and made that play from behind. That was a great play by him.
Read the screen, came in underneath it, made a great tackle.
We'll take a quick break. When we come back after this timeout, it'll be 4th down. We'll see what they want to do on the USF Sports TV network.
I came here and I knew that the people here really cared.
That's their one goal, is to see you walk across that stage and to have a successful life.
The professors in the university really do prepare their students for the real world. When I came here, I got my voice, I got my independence, I got that sense of I can make an impact. USF education isn't just teaching you what you need to know about your field. It's teaching you what you need to know to make the world a better place.
Adrian Guerrero back on the field for St. Francis here on 4th down, looking to pin the Cougars. He has been busy today here, Coach.
Yes, I like this. Well, they changed their mind here. Going to punt the ball. See if he can pin that inside the 10.
The 5th punt of the day for Guerrero.
Beautiful.
Looks good from here. Let's see if it gets a good bounce. It does.
That little backspin.
Well, down it right around the 11-yard line. Nicely done by 61.
He's having a day.
Yeah, he is.
Nice kick. He had the little, you saw the way he held the ball. He got that little backspin on it. Down to the 10-yard line.
Defense back on the field for St. Francis. The time of possession actually pretty similar. 17 minutes for St. Xavier, about 14 and a half for St. Francis. The amount of plays, those different, 10 more plays from the Cougars.
Yeah.
About to add on to that. D'Ambrosio empty backfield here. 5 wide receivers. Wide receiver screen again. St. Francis all over it again. Loss of 2.
That's a big part of the St. Xavier's offense. They may have to shelve that because that has not got nothing all day. St. Francis does a great job of holding up the blocks and pursuing to the play.
2nd and 12 after the tackle for a loss. Is that Carson Hansen? Probably. Yeah, of course it was, number 22.
The one thing you could see maybe St. Xavier doing is a little pump faking and throwing the ball over the top.
Price on the carry. Counter play up to the 10. Not much there. Great job defensively again by the Saints.
Strung it out well. Did a great job.
Bryce Pollard, the freshman nose tackle, in among the tacklers.
And Hansen, whose his key is the back, was right there to make the tackle.
Frazier coming in along the 32. Not on my roster. I'll have to check on who that is as they bring him in here on a pass play coming up from the Cougars.
Well, if we could force a punt from the end zone here, this would be great for our offense. Field position.
32, Damian Bazanowski. See if St. Francis wants to bring extra pressure. They do. In near the end zone. Lofts it up. That one's trouble for Foster. It's incomplete over the head of the receiver. 4th down at the 11-yard line. Great defensive stand by the Saints.
Again, good coverage. And that's the second time where we've seen St. Xavier have 2 receivers right next to each other, which is a problem because it brings more defenders into that area. Look at how close the 2 receivers are there. And that brings more defenders in to help out with the play. Again, like you said, Nick, very dangerous throw.
And a good return man on the field for St. Francis, who's standing in positive territory here for the Saints.
Punting into the wind.
Punt from the 3 into the wind. Engstrom will sail back to the 48, and he'll be taken down right there. Good punt coverage by St. Xavier. Joel Arzuga. A Chicago kid out of Von Steuben.
Great defensive series for the Saints.
All right, boys, 11:37 to go. Something needs to happen here offensively.
Well, again, if we saw, we had that nice pass to Friddle on the deep crossing, and the penalty took it away. So, I mean, we showed some signs here.
Penalties, man.
See if we can play clean and get a score here.
Day behind Mall. Blitz coming again. Picked up well. Plenty of time. Downfield to Bew. Overshot him by a hair. He might have been held up in the middle of that route just enough to throw off the timing. But I like the play call, and Bew was open.
He had a step. He makes a great move here. Fakes like he's going to go outside. And then he breaks back to the inside of the post. Just missed.
I think there was a bit of a tug that slowed down Carl.
Yeah.
2nd and 10 at midfield. Maul the snap. Fakes to Day. Goes on the quick slant to Ryan Little, who picks up the 1st down. 17 yards.
Boy, that's one of their best play action passes for the year where you fake Gavin right up off tackle. It brings that linebacker up. As you can see here, you play fake, the linebacker steps up to react to Day, and it opens up a little slant route for Little right to the inside.
5 catches for Ryan Little. This time they give it to Gavin. He's able to march for 2 yards. 2nd down.
That's a nice little series they got here. There's the zone, inside zone look there, and then Gavin would come off of that with the play action.
Ryan Little, his breakout season this year.
Same formation.
They give to Gavin, sweep right. Oh, looked like he had the edge, but he cuts it up the hash marks. And then another flag comes in behind St. Francis's offense. Surely another hold.
Is that Friddle?
Offense, number 89. 10 yards from the spot of the foul. Second down.
Jurisic, the tight end.
Jurisic, the tight end.
Come on, boys. Would be 3rd down and 2 or 3, and now it's going to be 2nd down and about 13. Can't have it.
I mean, that was a nice game, too. Okay, see if we get half of it back here.
Stringham behind Nate this time to pick up the blitz. They just gets away. Nate's going to do it himself. Ooh, still bending him backward. Come on now. I'm surprised there was no penalty flag thrown there. He kind of held Nate Mall in a wrestling position. He was able to pick up about 7 on the quarterback run.
Boy, Xavier got great penetration. Nate was able to just avoid that and get us some positive yards. But, boy, we had front 4 had great penetration on that play.
3rd and 15 for St. Francis, another penalty-riddled drive.
We do have one-on-one with Little here.
They're going to go toward him. Oh, the blitz comes. They go to the middle screen again, but he just needed another second. They had it wide open. They had Friddle. If he caught it, had 3 linemen in front of him. They dialed up the exact play they wanted. It was the play they ran earlier when St. Xavier ran the all-out blitz.
But this time they ran at the Friddle.
Yep.
Or was it Friddle or, yep.
Yeah, I think they were going for Jake. I like the play, though.
He got in there a little quicker than I think you'd like because he really had to throw off his heels there.
And that's one of those plays where the offensive lineman just kind of let him go, and you hope that Nate Mall can get rid of the ball soon.
Yeah.
Or quick enough. Here's Guerrero again, his 6th punt. A beauty. A beauty. Get a good bounce. They do. Let it go, let it go, let it go. Inside the 5. Adrian Guerrero, the MVP today so far.
How about it?
Jeez Louise.
There's a game ball. He's going to get it today. McCarthy looks frustrated. Boy, it's hard calling a game when you see things that are working. Mm-hmm. And every time you get a break, you get a penalty. It pushes you back, puts you in impossible play calling situations, and wrecks your rhythm that you get going. They had to. They were controlling tempo, and it creates so much havoc there. You're always in 3rd and long, 2nd and long, and it's just difficult to.
Might take a defensive score here. D'Ambrosio from the end zone. Little trouble here on the carry. They're going to go backward a yard there on the handoff to Tyrese Lee.
Tell you, the Saints may have found something with this 4-man line. They've done an excellent job with the running game. And, the outside screens, which is basically an extension of the running game, they've shut that down. And look at here. Look at the pursuit. We're getting penetration, allowing our linebackers lanes to come up and make plays. Great team defense.
No gain officially on the play. 2nd and 10 from the 3-yard line. D'Ambrosio going to move Lee to his left. Quick pitch to the outside to Foster. Richards makes the tackle at the 14-yard line. That is an 11-yard pickup and a 1st down for the Cougars. Big 1st down for St. Xavier.
Yes, it is. Through a quick little hitch route here.
8 of the 11 offensive starters for the Cougars are upperclassmen. Very experienced group on that side of the ball compared to the young defense.
Here's they got the 3 receivers to the sideline. Again, this is where they like to run the 2-man route to the left with the halfback and the wide receiver.
They're all going to go
there it
on
is.
a route. D'Ambrosio looking long to the sideline. It is a beautiful throw and completion to the 39. Charles Campbell picks up another catch and a big gainer for the Cougars.
That's been their best play. They force coverage into the boundary because that's where the 3 receivers are. You got a corner and a linebacker on the backside, and they just run a 2-man game. They send the wide receiver deep corner, and they bring the back out of the backfield, and that's been their best pass play of the game. As you can see here, watch the halfback come into the flat, and then the corner's one-on-one then, and there it is for 1st down.
Longest play of the game for St. Xavier, previously 16. That one goes for about 20. First down at the 39.
3 receivers in the boundary again.
Blitz, but Tyrese Lee runs right through it. He'll pick up 10 and more, spinning before he's dragged down at the 44-yard line by St. Francis's Michael Hackman.
Well, they haven't had success running their screens, but they have had success running their running back around end. So that time by putting the 3 receivers into the boundary, as you can see here, they hand it off, and now he picks them up as blockers right there. So it's very similar to a screen, but they're using the running game.
First down at the Saint 45, flipping the field on 2 big plays are the Cougars.
Same formation.
And Lee to the right of D'Ambrosio. Yep, same formation, trips out left, single receiver right. Pressure, D'Ambrosio going to try to run it, doesn't get away that time. That's a sack for the St. Francis D-line. Alan Richards was there as well.
Boy, they're getting great. That front four is getting tremendous penetration. They don't need to add the blitz. These guys are getting upfield. Look at another stunt. Ends to the inside, tackles loop to the outside. There's nowhere to step up and run.
Isaac Johnson gets his first sack of the year, second sack of the game for the St. Francis defense. 6:10 to go, third quarter. Still no offensive touchdowns yet.
So the Saints are at their best when they're running those games inside with the defensive ends and the tackles running their twists and loops.
Corners off, single safety up is Nate Shute. They're going to rush the 4 again. They're going to flip it out to St. Xavier. A nice run. Great job using his blockers. Powering forward, Jacob Fisher, the junior. Picks up 6.
Again, a form of a sweep play. They're going to toss it, but it's running him behind the 3 receivers. When you run the screen out there, one of those receivers has to catch the ball, so you have 2 blockers. But if you toss it to your halfback, all 3 guys can block, and that's where they're getting that extra yardage. It's a great adjustment by Yanul, the offensive coordinator of St. Xavier, to hit that edge.
4 wide receivers, 2 on each side this time. Fisher to the right of D'Ambrosio on 3rd down and 4. They're going to drop into coverage. That St. Francis linebacker core. Right in the middle of the field. It's wide open, sliding for the catch and a first down for St. Xavier, Markel Porter.
Attack the middle of the field in the passing game. As you can see here, they're going to run people off and bring him right back into this hole right in here.
Porter's first catch of the game, and now they're getting into some dangerous red zone territory here at the 24-yard line. First down for the Cougars. They've been down here before, ended with a St. Francis stop and interception. Handoff, cut off, and here comes the rest of the St. Francis Saints with a nice push there at the end by Fisher, I believe.
Again, the defensive line strung that out.
You know what St. Xavier's running backs do so well is that when you think the St. Francis defense will cut off a run, they do such a great job of cutting and just following that cut and going and picking up, a good 3, 4, 5 yards when it could have been stopped for a no gain.
Right, if they think the linebacker's overrun, they hit that little pocket in the middle there, like you said. Just plant their foot and turn back up inside, get some positive yards.
2nd down and 6 at the 21. D'Ambrosio is going to throw. Batted at the line, intercepted Carson Hansen. The 3rd interception of the game for St. Francis's defense, and they're going to give the ball back to the offense for another try. Say, come on, boys, how many more opportunities do you want here? Carson Hansen with the pick, his first interception of the season.
And again, that front 4, I think this is their 3rd or 4th deflection. If you can't get there, get in the pass lane, get those arms up. And that's exactly what they did. They had a great push in the middle. They put their hands up, got a deflection for an interception.
All right, momentum here.
Saints have
been a great job.
Excellent in their red zone defense today.
Hansen's first pick of the season. He's the do-it-all guy for that St. Francis defense. Leads in tackles and sacks and tackles for a loss. And now let's see if the offense can take over again after the 3rd interception of the day. They're going to go downfield. They're going to go long for little. It's overthrown and should have been an interception for St. Xavier. They were going big, trying to use the momentum, and guess what? Another flag.
Wow. Well, they ran 4 vertical routes, 4 guys straight down the field, and you know who St. Xavier is concerned about is Little. He was the one guy that was double covered on that route.
insult to injury on the incomplete pass, and they're going to make it even harder on themselves with another penalty. That is
holding
St.
our
Francis,
left tackle.
11th penalty. 11 penalties. The game's hard enough.
Alston.
Snap to Nate. Quick pass. That's the pass that was intercepted for a pick six at the first play of the game, and it was nearly intercepted again.
Yeah, it looked like they wanted to get a little screen pass to Buell, Carl Buell out here, and look at the reaction by the corner of St. Xavier. Breaks right on the ball.
Yeah, either Nate's arms got to get stronger for that play, or you got to get Carl almost moving in that direction.
Yeah, he's not. It seems like the balls he's been throwing to his left have been fluttering a little bit this afternoon.
Corners are way off the receivers now on 2nd down and 20. Thrown as he's hit, and that one is looking for Hackman and incomplete. Into double coverage there.
Both sides ran a outside receiver on a post, inside receiver on a wheel. And we just see here, you got the wheel on the outside, both outside.
Yeah,
seems like Friddle was open on the edge over there.
That defense is starting to get pretty tired, I would think, for St. Francis. They've been on the field a lot lately in this quarter. The offense needs to try to move the chains here. Look for Ryan Little here with 3:33 to go, and they're going to bring the blitz. They're going to loft it up, buddy. Incomplete. There was a miscommunication there. They were going for Little, but Little cut off the route.
Well, the fact that St. Xavier's done an excellent job of stopping the Saints' running game today, it seems like the Saints have gone totally to throwing the ball the last couple series. And we haven't had too many people open. But again, the penalty put us in this situation where we have to throw the ball.
Another drive killed by a penalty. St. Xavier's going to come for the block here. They've been close the last couple of times. Adrian's going to have to hurry this one off. Low snap. Good enough. He does get it off. Look at the spiral. A beauty to the edge. No chance for a return down to the 40. Another 60-yard punt from where he punted it. It's going to net about 47 yards.
He's got every kick in the book, man. If he's going to try and pin it inside the 10-yard line, he's got that little backspin kick. And then when he needs the long kick, he hits a beautiful spiral to cut through the wind. And, again, another 60-yard punt there.
Defense has to come to the task again here. St. Xavier, good field position here starting from the 40 thanks to another big penalty by St. Francis. St. Francis going to bring some extra pressure. They hand off to Thompson left side. He's got one man to beat. Thankfully, Nate Shute makes the tackle after a gain of 13.
Again, an excellent adjustment, putting the receivers into the boundary here, and you're running a sweep behind them. That's replaced their sideline screens, that running play.
And this third quarter really should have been the quarter St. Francis takes over. UFS have outscored their opponents 52-26 in third quarters this year. St. Xavier has been outscored 40-21, but not so much this time. As Thompson again around the outside, another big first down.
Well,
and he lays a big hit at the end of it.
There's a holding at 63 there. He just tackled our defensive end.
No wonder he got it wide open so much.
So add that to the list of penalties here, but this one goes in our favor. Tackled.
That's the 6th penalty on St. Xavier to wipe out another first down run. My goodness. This isn't the first game of the year here, Coach.
No.
Ball back to the 44. They need to get to the 36 for a first.
Some of these officials are going to have to ice down their shoulders after the game with many flags. Goes blitz.
First down play again to Thompson. He's had success, but not that time. Falls down behind the line of scrimmage, back to the 41. Yeesh.
Oh, boy, we did a good job again stringing that out.
Who made the play on that one as Thompson takes the helmet off and steps off to the sideline. Nobody. I think he just tripped, right?
Yeah.
Just fell. You can credit the Memorial Stadium turf for that takedown.
But it wasn't much there either with the Saints defense and great pursuit. Second and forever here.
Yeah, second about 23 now.
Trips into the boundary.
They're going to keep it on the ground. Same play. They like what they have over there, but look at him go. Tyrese Lee to the 50. Pushed out of bounds around the 47. It's going to bring up 3rd and 11. That's a nice. They've run 3 straight plays sweeping left. They must like who they got back on that side of the football.
Yeah, it's the short side of the field, so your running back doesn't have to go far to get behind the 3 blockers out there. You got the 3 wide receivers. You can see they're blocking upfield. As long as they can seal that edge, that's better than a screen pass.
3rd and 12 coming up for St. Xavier.
If they get half of this, I would imagine they might go again.
Yep. 4 DBs are deep. D'Ambrosio looking, pressure comes, has to escape, spinning at the 50, escapes again, and he gets the 42. Well, we're going to find out, Coach. They got about half of it. And I would assume they're going to go because they really like that sweep left, and they've gotten 8-9 yards the last 3 times they've run it.
Oh, a quarterback like this is so frustrated. Here we did it. We ran that same stunt again where we brought our outside and inside.
Punter's going to come out, but I wouldn't put it past him for a fake here.
They've done something. I remember when Coach Slovic went over there as special teams coach. They had a whole bunch of trick bags.
Oh, they still do. they are not afraid to run them. So St. Francis has to be on their toes here. Connor Engstrom back at his own 10. The sophomore Shepard ready to punt. Nope, I knew it. Oh, they got him to go.
They got him.
It's still not going to be a first down, but now they're definitely going to go for it. There's 2 men. There's a flag in the backfield, too, though. Was it a delay of game before that?
Delay of game. Offense. 5-yard penalty. Woo. Still 4th down.
I mean, we called it up here. We knew something was coming.
Well, as soon as it became a delay of game, it's dead. Yep. So whatever else happened up in the line of scrimmage, if somebody jumped or whatever, that didn't matter. Delay of game penalty kills the play. There will be no snap on a delay of game.
And now they're going to go talk to Coach Fem. I'm not sure what there is to talk about.
He's bringing his guys over.
Is there's no way he's saying just, okay, guys, go ahead and kick it now, right? Do you bring your whole offense to say, go ahead and punt it?
We'll see. I don't know, but I would be very surprised if he tried to fake it again.
I would too, but what's the point of the head coach huddle here? Just don't jump off sides. Thank you. High punt, but handled by Shepard. Gets it off, short punt, and let that one go. Takes the St. Xavier bounce. Not too bad, though, at the 16-yard line. So, tell you what, this St. Francis offense has been stagnant. They've been good all year long, too, averaging 37 points a game, averaging 191 rushing yards per game, 12 rushing yards, as that brings us to the end of the 3rd quarter here at Joliet Memorial Stadium. Well, 10 of the last 12, Coach Sharp, have been decided by a touchdown or less between the Saints and the Cougars. And here we are again.
I'll tell you, the defense has kept us in the game. And that's no matter what's happened offensively, one drive, one big play, and we're right back in this. We're only down 1 score. The defense has done a tremendous job of allowing us to stay in this football game.
Of course, SXU holds the edge in this all-time series, but like I said, recent games have always been close. 10 of the last 12 decided by a touchdown or less, including the last 7 games in this series. Every single game in the last 7 have been decided by a touchdown or less. And we've had times where St. Francis has been ranked in the top 25, St. Xavier's been ranked. It never matters, ever. It's always a close game.
These guys compete hard, and that's the one thing you're seeing out here today. I know we got some penalties and things, but we're seeing effort, great effort on both sides of the ball. I mean, really impressed with the Saints defensive line today, how they're playing. St. Xavier also on defense, the way they're playing. And like I said, we're one big play away. You got one drive. I mean, 15 minutes left. You're still only down 7. You're right in this thing.
Johnny Sorensen in a quarterback, which means he's probably going to run it. Hands off to Bew this time, looking for the outside at the 20-yard line and pushed out of bounds. It's only a gain of about 4.
This is how they're going to try and get their running game going. Bringing in Bew and bringing in Sorensen, and now that's the way they're going to get things going. So you basically have 3 running backs in the game when you got those 3 guys in. And as they say that, Bew goes out of the game.
And so does Sorensen. We haven't seen Aaron Larkins today. Not one time. Day, the feature back here in the pistol. Tight end right is Friddle. Here comes the blitz. Picked up, quick throw. Did he catch that ball?
Yes.
Holy cow, Ryan Little catches it around the 26-yard line. He'll be a yard short of the first down, but another injury. Is it Ryan Little?
Yes, it is.
That's going to be an arm. He had his arms out.
Took a shot. They're not running the ball much today, Nick, so maybe when you see a running back not getting much playing time, they probably got the best pass protector in the game and maybe the best receiver too, because they haven't run the ball as much as they'd like to, but they have used their backs. We saw the wheel route to Gavin earlier, and then Gavin's also does an excellent job of pass protecting.
See what happened here is he got rolled up at the end of the play. I don't know how he caught the ball, to be honest. It's kind of tough to see where the injury might have occurred, too.
Right shoulder.
Shoulder, yeah.
Or bicep, whatever. Might have got a helmet right on his bicep as he reached out there.
Not best case scenario if that's the case.
Yeah.
If there's one thing, though, if it's at all physically possible to come back, he will be. He looks like he's okay. He's jogging off.
Yeah, he's not hanging. Like you a lot of times the guy hits the shoulder, see him kind of hang that arm down. I think he got hit right on got a bruise right on that muscle there on the bicep. He looks fine. There's no way he's going to stay out of the game.
And I'll tell you what, the offense changes with him out of the game, too. 3rd down and 1, and guess who's in the game? Aaron Sorensen for the first time. Or not Aaron Sorensen, pardon me, Aaron Larkins, the tailback here.
And Sorensen's here.
Oh, that's right.
He replaced Little.
Maul sees something. Blitz is going to be coming here on 3rd and 1. Hand off to Larkins. He sees the space, gets to the outside. There goes 24 to the 40-yard line. That's a 13-yard pickup from Aaron Larkins, moving the chains. Let's get more 24, huh?
He's got that extra burst. He's got that quickness. Good job blocking. Friddle with a great turnout block to open up the hole in the C gap. Friddle made an excellent block that gave him a lane to run in, and once he sees it, Larkins sees it, he hits it hard, and he's got the quick feet, gives you first down.
There's Larkins behind Maul. Ryan Little back on the field, wide out left. Rushing 4. Pump fakes there. Comeback is there for Hackman. He's wide open, makes the catch at the 47-yard line. Make it the 46, a pickup of 7.
That route's been open all afternoon. Wheel out, curl in. Take the outside guy, have him curl to the inside. Right there, there's a little hole right in the coverage. Little window to throw it in. Great job by Nate sliding out to his right and making a good throw.
No, Coach, I'm a coach for my kids' flag football team. I need you to dial up my playbook, will you? Get some combo routes for me?
Yeah.
2nd down and 3.
Oh.
String him straight ahead, but he kind of ran into his own guy and is only able to pick up 1. So 3rd and 2 coming up for St. Francis.
We had something there. We just lost the guy at the edge. We had Friddle watch Friddle come here and pull right up the middle. And we just lost number 3. We just didn't finish that block there. If we stay on that block a little longer, we had some good running room there.
St. Francis only 2 for 10 on 3rd down. St. Xavier not much better at 3 for 10. But Larkins back in the game at running back. Tight end right, tight end left. Hand off to Larkins, just looking for some space, and he's hitting the backfield, and he's got nowhere to go. There was no help for Aaron Larkins. And he lost 6 on the play, and another punt coming up from Adrian Guerrero, who's been the busiest guy in the stadium today.
Well, that time we ran away from Friddle, and we didn't have anybody really set the edge for our running back on that play. And the great pursuit by the Xavier defensive line, just doing a great job of not allowing the edge, stringing it out, making a play.
The 7th punt of the day for Guerrero. Good snap. Kick is away, and it's another boomer. Good hang time. Fair catch called
Tough
for.
one to catch.
And made at the 20-yard line. 40-yard punt for Guerrero. 11:43 to go in the game. Still no offensive touchdowns from anybody. Only score of this game, if you've joined us late, a pick six on St. Francis's first play of the game. Other than that, it's just been trading body blows. No one throwing the big haymaker quite yet.
Two defenses playing great. The game has been exciting in the sense that there's some, like I said, the effort's been excellent. Defense is playing well. And let's see if the Saints can keep them bottled up down here.
18 combined penalties. Low snap. They're going to go for a reverse. Nope, halfback throw. Looking downfield, and it is complete. How did he come up with that ball? Incredible catch by Ronnie Foster. It was a nice throw. I believe it was Joey Thompson.
I wonder if that's a backup quarterback in at the time because he drills this thing. Look where this ball hits. Wow.
It was good coverage downfield from St. Francis, but an even better catch by Ronnie Foster.
Fake reverse, little misdirection. Yeah, Saints had it covered well, but what a heck of a throw.
First down at the 49. Lee on the edge. Turns it upfield at the 46. He picks up 5 on the carry.
Well, that running play has been the one bright spot for the St. Xavier offense is that sweep behind the Twins receivers. See, they get outside zone, and then look, the receivers do a great job of blocking to give them the edge out there. We have not seen them, except one time in the second half, go to their sideline screen, out wide receiver screen, which is one of their favorite plays.
Corners are off. Trips receivers right on the short side of the field.
Sweep right again.
They give it to Lee. Only a yard that time. So third down coming up. St. Xavier hasn't been much better than St. Francis on third down. They're 3 for 10.
Oh, there it is, the zone. Outside zone to the right. I would be surprised they didn't come back with it one more time here.
Probably going to 4-down territory here, I'd imagine, for St. Xavier.
Well, now they're back into their 2 receivers each side.
3rd and 4. Lee motions to the left.
Empty.
To the right, it goes to Foster, and he picks up the first, cuts it inside to the 30. Drugged down by Richards. Thought they had him, but he was able to squeak free for about 13 yards and a first down. Those wide receiver screens are dangerous, Coach, because you might cover them all day, but all it takes is one.
Right, and they had a little interesting wrinkle there where they motioned their tailback to the left to trips, and they just had the 2 receivers over there, so they didn't need the extra blocker. Get it out there, get a block, and let them make.
Another 4 receiver set here. Fisher to the left. Fisher gets the football. Cuts it up the numbers. Taken down after a gain of 4.
I think the Saints are doing a good job of stringing that thing out and pursuing, but you could easily see D'Ambrosio pull that ball and keep it himself running around the left side.
D'Ambrosio
He'll be setting that play up.
15 for 24. Good percentage, but 143 yards and 3 interceptions. No touchdowns, obviously. Fisher still in there at running back for the Cougars. 2nd down and 6. Looking to throw, steps up, checks it down, and it's Fisher, the completion and run for the first down. Needed 6, got 7, and they're into the red zone.
Tough to defend those short crossing routes. See Fisher come out. Checks down. We used to call that the Texas route, where it looks like you're running a wheel, then you plant your foot in the ground and come across. That's a difficult route to cover. You see that a lot in the game today with the
fresh set of downs for the Cougars at the 19. Dangerous territory here. Fisher again the cutback. And Nate Shute has to come up from his safety spot to make the stop. What is it about that sweep right, Coach? That's been so hard to defend on this drive.
It is. Again, like I say, they got the 2 blockers out there. Now, he's just reading the outside block. That's all he's reading. He runs the daylight. So if they zone and they stretch it and we end up turning the outside guy, he'll cut back inside. If we end up pinning him, he'll take it around and run behind the 2 receivers.
Picks up 6, 2nd and 4. Cougars threatening.
Boy, that trip split way wide to the left.
D'Ambrosio will carry an extra blocker out front. He's chopped down after a pickup of 6 and another first down. First time we've seen the quarterback on the keeper on that route.
Yeah, just a little quarterback lead. They had the tailback lead block for him. They zone blocked the edge. You got everybody. You drew the secondary, a safety out to cover the 3 receivers to the defense's right. Allowed him to run to the defense's left with the extra blocker, like you said.
6:45 to go, and we got a timeout on the field. Looks like we do. I think we're asking a lot of this St. Francis defense, as you can see Coach Fem coaching up his offense, patting his quarterback on the back there. But you're asking a lot to keep St. Xavier, their offense, off the board for the entire game. They've done such a tremendous job, but they might just be getting worn out here as they, pick up chunk yardage in the red zone. It's going to be first down and goal for the Cougars.
And I know their goal line defense has been excellent. I think we're in the red zone. I think we've already made like 5 stops today. But 3 points could be devastating right here, the way this game's going.
To our fan cam here at Joliet Memorial Stadium. What's going on, my friend?
There's Derek Batichak there. Oh, look at that.
Oh, who cares about Derek?
Yeah.
Show the doggo. What a good boy.
Yeah.
What a good boy.
The dog, Derek, not you.
Yeah, sorry, you don't stand a chance there, bud. All right, here we go. First down and a goal for the Cougars. Say the 7-yard line. Like you said, St. Francis has been stout in the red zone today, but how long can you expect it?
Got the same look.
This will be the 3rd time into the red zone for the Cougars. Inside run to Thompson. He's been a tough runner. And it takes a second effort by Alan Richards to finally get 19 to the ground. He is such a hard runner.
God, we're playing tough in there, the interior defense. I mean, as many times as they've been down in the goal line, as many plays as the defense has played today. Look at the penetration we get. And our defensive ends reading so well, coming down the line of scrimmage. We may see D'Ambrosio run again down here. Because they got the 1 linebacker key in the halfback.
Ooh, almost got him to jump, but didn't. How are you? Stand sharp. Strung around to the outside, but not enough room there. Nate Shute made him take the wider route, bringing up 3rd and goal.
Here we are again. Good job on it. Again, setting the edge on defense. Look at a stretch. Come up, take away the lead blocker. Force the play out of bounds.
Great job by Nate Shute. He has been all over the board today defensively for St. Francis. Shute now with 11 tackles right behind Carson Hansen, who has 13 today. Here we go, 3rd and goal.
They've had very little success throwing down here.
Thompson, the tough runner out of Mount Carmel. He's still pushing. It's going to be close. 4th and goal at the 2 coming up for St. Xavier.
This is an interesting decision here. Again, the Saints with their solid defense, just a steel curtain down there.
Don't you make this a 2-point or 2-possession game?
I'm kicking. It looks like Fem's doing that too, but I was going to say it's.
With the way that the St. Xavier defense has been playing, 2 possessions seems really difficult.
I agree.
St. Francis defense or the special teams, a block would be huge. Don't call for the fake, though. Here's Casillas, the kicker. Looks good from here, and it is. It's a 2-possession game for the Cougars with not very much time. Shut out most of this game. There is 136 passing yards, but St. Francis has only rushed it for 126, far behind their average of 191 per game.
I wonder if they'll put 2 receivers deep with Carl. Put Carl and another one deep because they've been kicking away from them and they've been kicking line drives into. Yeah, it looks like they're going to have
No.
Nope.
No. Stringham's going to go up with Larkins. Those are guys who can, run the ball. They're running backs there, but Carl Bew, the single return man.
They've done a good job kicking away from Carl this afternoon.
That drive for St. Xavier, 12 plays, 78 yards, 7 minutes.
7 minutes is the one.
Huge.
Getting a field goal. 6 times in the red zone, they had 1 field goal. Saints defense playing tough.
Carl, is he going to get there? He will have a chance from the 3. Bew's already got a touchdown to his name. Trying to make something happen, but he's bottled up around the 20-yard line, so not much there. Good coverage by the Cougars, and now Nate Mull and this offense really going to have to take some shots downfield now.
Well, we did run some no-huddle offense with success. It was the penalties that kind of we stopped ourselves. So they've had enough work on that no-huddle.
USF is one of the better big play offenses in the country, 11th in the NAIA in yards per completion, 15.5. They're going to need a few of those this drive.
Boy, they're playing a soft zone here. Look at 3 deep. Look how soft they're playing the zone coming up. Tackle.
Out to Friddle, and he loses a yard. The shallow passes are just not there. St. Xavier's too good. You got to look downfield.
Yeah, they're playing for the deep pass. There's not going to be much there. We got 5 defensive backs right across the field here.
That defensive line is getting after it too. Here comes the blitz from the linebackers.
Force an early throw.
Down to Little, one-on-one, overthrown. You got to at least give him a chance.
Yeah, the ball is thrown too far out of bounds for him. Even the way Little, as tall as he is, as good as he could jump, he couldn't get to that one.
3rd and 10. Got to give him a chance. Look at the defense pin their ears back. Out it goes to Friddle. It's caught at the 32. That should be enough for the first down. He bobbled it and was able to maintain. Huge play from Jake Friddle, who comes up limping a little bit, holding that right hamstring.
The guy on this play was Gavin, picked up the outside blitz. Boy, he stuffed it with a great block on the outside.
Good concentration by Jake, too.
And that gave Nate the time. Great block on pass protection by Gavin.
Safety blitz, has to hurry. Gets it out to Ryan one-handed. I think he might have been trying to bat that ball back to Gavin Day. Or was that just get the hand up and make sure it doesn't get picked? That was an interesting play.
Let's see this. See if he runs a little hitch route here. Like he's going to run the fade, stop.
Watch him trying to bat. It looked like he's trying to hit it back to Gavin.
Yeah.
Doesn't it?
That does.
2nd down and 10. Blitz again from the linebackers. Picked up again. Plenty of time for Nate. Oh, but he held on to it too long.
See, St. Xavier is giving St. Francis anything they want underneath. Friddle was wide open on a short crossing. They're just taking everything deep away. Going to try and force you to use clock to get down the field.
3:20 to go.
3rd down.
And again, that St. Xavier defense is coming on 3rd and 10. They're bringing everybody. They didn't check it down this time. Nate, jump pass, almost picked off. 4th down.
Well, they went straight man-to-man that time. But too many rushers, more than we could block. Brought a ball. Look at, they brought the kitchen sink here. Everybody coming.
There's no answers on offense for St. Francis all game today. Penalties, they haven't helped.
Now, every time we got something going, it seemed like we shot ourselves in the foot with a penalty.
Another all-out blitz. Another pass outside to Hackman. A lot of contact there at the end of that route, but they're going to say incomplete pass. That's a turnover on downs.
Yep. Nate was under duress again. It's hard to be accurate when you have everybody in your face there, so it's tough. They're bringing all the blitz. It's more than we can block.
Not a lot of happy looks on this home sideline as you see the end of that play. their all-world Taj McClennan cornerback, of course, in amongst the action there.
That guy's a player.
Yeah, he is.
He really showed it today. You're going to see.
I'll talk to Coach Curry after the game, get his thoughts. This might be one of the tougher conversations because out of a bye week, as you see another run by Lee, hit hard. Nice hit by Alan Richards. You know, you go up against one of the top teams in the country 2 weeks ago, and in using Coach Curry's word, embarrassed is what he said. Had the bye week, and you said you just don't want to have that kind of showing again. I'm not saying they were embarrassed because this defense played tough. But the offensive penalties and just lack of big plays just couldn't really get off the ground.
And it seemed like the penalties were after big plays.
Yeah,
or
you're
after
absolutely
a good
right.
play.
They wiped out a lot of big plays.
Not only were they penalties, they were devastating penalties in a lot of cases. But you got to credit the defense, Coach Miller, and the job they did coming in the four-man. The four-man line really bothered St. Xavier today. And not only was it a great scheme, but the kids, the young men, executed it so well. And they kept, you can see them rotating 2 guys at a time, coming in, keeping them fresh. And they also, that four-man line allowed our linebackers and safeties to play extremely well. I mean, we took away their best play, their outside screen. We took away their inside running game. They only scored 3 points on offense.
Yep. Yeah, not too much to be proud of for St. Xavier offensively either. They got a lot of work to do too. Just a real defensive battle here as Tyrese Lee takes the carry past the 30-yard line. It's going to be 3rd down and 7 coming up with 2:40 to go and counting.
Is he going to use his last timeout now or let it run down?
We will have a stoppage at the 2-minute warning.
Yeah, he's going to let it run down.
St. Xavier just fine with that.
You're right at it. I think you might have to call a timeout. It's just that it looks like a half a second. The play clock and game clock are just very close.
And I think St. Xavier's starting to realize, do we have to run a play here? Yeah, they're going to call a timeout. Yep. Now do they got to put 2:01? Yeah. Yeah, they're going to reset the.
Which is I don't know what, because you're going to do a 1 second run. No, they said it went.
No, they're at 2:01 to the board.
So now it's only going to be, it's going to stop again.
Yeah, because they're going to roll the clock, right?
Yeah.
Why take the time?
But still, maybe they'll get like a little more. Maybe we get down to 155 or something.
So I was talking to Justin Pringle, one of the new assistant coaches for St. Francis, who's kind of making his way under that gray tent right now, so we're not going to be able to see him. But I came over to him before the game. I said, how does this game feel for you? Because we talked to Coach Curry. I know we had a moment with Coach Fem before the game, and I wanted to see what it was like for Pringle, who just had an incredible career catching passes and scoring touchdowns for the Cougars. Like, what's it like being on the brown and gold side and coaching? And he's like, you know what? I like to win more than I like my other team. What a great answer that was. Unfortunately, he's not going to get the W, but I love that attitude from Justin.
Well,
he hates to lose. D'Ambrosio will carry it and run into his own guy and knock backwards. So a loss, and that'll bring us to the 2-minute warning. So 4th down. Some crazier things have happened.
Yep.
2 minutes to score and get an onside kick and let Adrian Guerrero go for a career-long field goal. That's the plan right now.
Yep. I would imagine that Coach Feminist is going to do another running play here. But that'll stop the clock on change of possession.
Do you let your field goal kicker give it a try here?
I don't.
Too much.
I would not.
Too much going on.
Too many things can happen. Bad snap, block.
There you see Justin Pringle talking to Coach Curry right now. Coach Curry's like, "Hey, why didn't you tell us about some of this stuff?" Actually, he did. The defense was great, so thank you very much to Justin.
Well, he looks like he could play now.
I think so.
Sneak a brown jersey on him. He looks great.
I even asked him, so like, what even got you here, right? Why are you coaching for us right now? He's like, well, Coach Curry called me. He said he had, there's Justin Pringle. He said he had no thoughts about coaching. It wasn't something he ever thought about doing. But then Coach Curry called. And they had a conversation and kind of laid out what the plan was. He's like, all right, I'll come coach. And I'm like, well, is it in your plans now? He's like, I don't know. We'll see.
Well, when I was the head coach, I hired a couple coaches from our opponents, and my philosophy was if I can't beat them, hire them.
Yep. He couldn't beat Justin Pringle, man. That guy was a saint beater, no doubt about it. All right, 4th down. They're going to line up to run a play. Safer than having to go
Might
through
as
the
well.
field
You
goal
could
operation.
try and throw it here because it's going to stop. The clock's going to stop anyway.
And they will. They're going to try to end the game here for the touchdown. Double coverage. Incomplete. So St. Francis will take over at the 31. They need a quick score and an onside kick.
Yeah.
Crazier things have happened, though.
They have one timeout. You're going to see prevent defense here, and you're going to see three secondary people deep, 20, 25 yards off the ball.
Do you have a play for this situation? Is there something you have in your back pocket?
Well, we used to, we had a thing, put the 3 receivers, you have the Hail Mary, then we had one where we would run, stop, throw a screen, and then we had a hook and lateral we'd run off it, and that kind of starts the rugby play, the hook and lateral. But see how deep these secondaries getting here?
It's going to be a hold, too. Oh, they didn't throw the flag. Out to Little, but he's out of bounds.
Again, being flushed out, throwing on the run, and it's just tough on your accuracy. Something he's going to have to develop because when he's out rolling either to right or his left, he's had trouble on the outside routes as far as accuracy. You're going to see these defensive backs are going to drop back to the 35-yard line before the play's over. There they go. Look, deep, deep, deep.
Looking for Friddle there, and just couldn't get it out to him. 3rd down.
Just didn't have his feet set properly to throw the ball to the outside.
4 deep safeties. Standing at the line to gain.
Look they're coming.
Oh, yeah. They're bringing.
Doesn't matter what time. 3rd down, they're coming.
They're bringing 7. Oh, they drop 2 back. Flag comes out. Deep ball goes down to Hackman. He makes the catch, but you know what that means. If it's a big play, there's a St. Francis penalty. Unless they were offside. It's just what you needed. But
he breaks that. If there's no penalty, he breaks that tackle.
There were a lot more big plays for St. Francis today than the box score is going to show you.
Yeah.
Only because of those penalties.
Yeah,
Carl Bew, hook and ladder here. No one to hook to, though.
I was awful shallow for.
Yeah.
Probably trying to get the ball in a good athlete's hands, see if he could. Now you got 4th and 10. They're coming.
Yeah, 4th down. They got to get to the 41. They got 7 on the line of scrimmage.
1-on-1. Who's covered the back out?
They all come. They get it out to Friddle at the 42. He'll pick up the 1st down and get out of bounds.
There's that curl wheel again. Took the outside receiver Little. He runs a curl into the inside, and then you got Friddle on the wheel. Look at right there. You see it off. You'll see him come here, and then Friddle will come out here.
Ten-yard pickup for
there it is.
Friddle.
That's been one of their best routes today.
Nate looking downfield. There's just no one open. They check it down today, and he had popped out. He never had control of it.
Guess who?
Yep. Of course, for those who don't know, we're talking to a multi-state championship winning coach out of Joliet Catholic up here with us.
Well, I would have loved to have him on one of my teams. Played for Jake Jaworski there. Did a great job.
Here's Nate on 2nd down. Out route to Little. He gets down, but that's going to get the clock continuing to roll.
Did it stop enough?
Yep.
Let's get up and get going. Get up, get going. There you go.
Nate Mall checking down again today.
Get out of bounds. Get out of bounds.
What are you doing? He
I'm
does
sorry.
get out of bounds. Coach Sharp, you can take Coach off the sideline, but you can't take the coach out of Coach Sharp.
We got 35, a couple shots at the end zone here. The way Guerrero's been kicking the ball, if we get something like a first out of bounds, I might kick the field goal and then go for the onside.
Yeah, get more
Get a
time.
Hail
That's going to be an
Mary.
offside, right?
Yes, it is. We got
Penalty
free play.
comes. Going down one-on-one to Little, but he didn't know it was coming. He slowed down on the route. I don't know if he saw the flag. Oh, a perfect opportunity, one-on-one with Little in the end zone with an offside penalty for safety. But it does give you the first down, so 30 seconds to go. Do you send Guerrero out?
Are we in his – what do you think his range is?
Well, they're going to put this at 30 about.
So that'd be
30, so 47-yarder. That was his record – career long was 46 that he hit a few weeks ago. So it's in his wheelhouse, but he is kicking into the wind at this case. So
I think you want to almost guarantee that you're going to make it the best you can.
And looks like they might be calling a timeout here. Yep.
St. Xavier.
Yep, St. Xavier calls
their
second timeout.
We still have one timeout. The Saints do too. So they could throw the ball over the middle, call timeout, kick the field goal, or go for the end zone. You don't want to be, you want to have a shot to win, to tie the game anyway. If you take too much time trying to score a touchdown, and then you lose that opportunity to get the ball back for a field goal.
And that's exactly the conversation those guys are having. Head coach Joe Curry to the left, Matt McCarthy, the OC, in the yellow, conversing here about what they might want to draw up. You got 30 seconds to score twice, and they haven't done it in the last 59 minutes and 30 seconds, so it's a tall order. Referee, a little extended whistle there. Let's go, boys. St. Francis has only beaten the Cougars twice in 27 games. One of them came last year up on the south side. St. Francis is 0-13 against St. Xavier here at home. Nate Mall on first down. Down the middle of the field, has Hackman. It's complete. Trying to fight for a few extra yards at the 11-yard line. That's going to stop the clock, and now you might see Guerrero.
Yeah.
Underneath. It's a fumble.
That's a fumble.
Then he spikes it. Can you throw it after the fumble?
No.
No, you can't. Yeah.
That'll be intentional grounding now.
Well, that's okay. You're still well within Guerrero's. It's well within Guerrero's range. I mean, you don't want to give him any extra, yardage if you can avoid it. But
that's the problem with you're in shotgun all day. Now you go under center. Did he get? If he got possession, could he then?
Intentional grounding. Offense number 12.
That's what it is.
That's a 5-yard penalty. Plus a loss of down. Second down.
But is the clock stopped?
Well, it may start now and snap.
I think you have to spike it again. That's my question.
Or run a play. It's going to start with balls ready for play. They won't, because you can't do a penalty to give an advantage with the time.
So my question is, do you think they're going to run a play instead of just spike it again?
Yeah, I might as well run a play because
Run off. Clock operator.
Yep,
Put 12 seconds on the clock. It'll start on my signal.
Because you did a penalty to stop the clock. Another penalty. That's because he didn't get the snap cleanly. There you go.
12 on the clock after the 10-second runoff, so they will bring Guerrero out.
That hurts. That 10 seconds hurts.
Guerrero from 45 yards. He's hit from 21, 42, 43, and 46 today. Coach Fem's going to call a timeout, his last timeout. Why'd they start the clock? Why is it at 5?
It should not have started. I think if they have the runoff, shouldn't it not start?
That's the penalty, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess they were supposed to run it. Yeah.
Why?
Yeah, I'm confused on the rule if they should have started if they should have ran it or not.
I should have listened to you. You should have spiked it one more time, seeing they're kicking it.
Well, that was just my ignorance on the rule. I wasn't sure what they do in that situation. But I guess if they run it, then this is your last play of the game. But Nate Mall's going to come back out. I think they just realized it too. What's the point of kicking a field goal? You might as well throw it into the end zone.
Wow, what 22 seconds with a possible field goal with the clock stopped. We mishandled the snap, and it turns up. We're down to 5 seconds.
Last play of the game to Ryan Little in the end zone, overthrown, incomplete. And that is the end of a game, a very anticlimactic end to the game. Honestly, anticlimactic game. I thought we'd see more offense from both teams here today, but all it took was the first play of the game. A pick six from St. Xavier gave them the cushion that they needed. And one of the more ugly games we've seen from these two teams. Usually they're so well played, so clean in terms of penalties. But this one just never really got into a rhythm from anybody. 13 penalties for St. Francis, 8 for St. Xavier.
Yep, the penalties are the story. And both defenses playing outstanding football. That's a story. And the one thing we learned that our special teams with Guerrero does a heck of a job, don't we?
Yeah, I think that's your story of the game. That's what we asked Coach Curry about. Is you got to be, obviously there's a lot to be disappointed about offensively, but defensively you couldn't have asked for a better performance.
And the fact that we had big positive plays taken away. What's that?
Down to the field we go. Head coach Joe Curry is standing by, and I know there's a lot of tape to watch offensively and a lot of I don't think you can hear us down there. 1 second. Can you hear us down there, Coach? No. Check. 1, 2. Can you hear us okay?
Now I got you.
There you go. We were just saying, obviously penalties are going to be something to talk about. You're going to start to try to clean that up and talk about offensively. But you held St. Xavier to a field goal. The defense was there today. You got to be so impressed with how that side of the ball played.
Yeah, they did. They played resilient, and we worked a lot on. Obviously, I told you guys before the game, changing our front and changing some of our fits, and then it sounds elementary, but when you don't give up big plays, it's amazing what you can do. And we did a good job of not giving up a big play on defense today. And unfortunately, offense, you got to give St. Xavier some credit. They played us well and limited our running game, and then our passing game. They did some good things in our receivers too.
For sure, and we also kind of threw some flowers at Adrian Guerrero. I know last year he was a bit
just went out again.
Oh, sorry.
There we go. Now we're back.
Yeah, we were talking about Adrian, about how maybe last year he was a bit inconsistent, kicking a field goal, punting, things like that. But
so I can't be prouder of him.
Well, Joe, I tell you, I was very impressed with your four-man line today. You took away a couple of St. Xavier staple plays. You took away their screens, outside screens. You took away their inside running game. And really made a lot of problems for them. It's just unfortunate that it seemed like every time you got something going offensively, you had a penalty to take it back. But the defense was really super job in the scheme and then the execution.
Yeah, I thought our defense did some good things up front. And like I told you guys to start with, one of the things we tried to work on defensively was, hey, who's our top 11 guys? Let's get them on the field, and we'll live and die that way. And the kids responded with that and then played really well for us today defensively. And offensively, it wasn't all bad either. We had some good things going, but like you said, every time we had something positive going, we got a penalty or they did something. They did a great job of bracketing Ryan Little today, so that kind of took that away from us. And then in our running game, we tried to make an adjustment. They started to roll everything to Jake Friddle because obviously that's where we run everything, and so we started to attach Jake and started to have Ryan Urisic be that guy, and we had some success with that in the second half. But again, it just wasn't consistent enough for us to win today.
Appreciate your time, Coach.
All right, thanks, guys.
Thanks. Always gracious with his time after a win, loss, or otherwise. We appreciate Coach Curry.
Right. You don't know how difficult that is sometimes, and he's always been a great as far as being gracious, and that's why the program is the way it is. That's why our kids act like they do. That's why our coaching staff, is that Joe sets that kind of culture by his example.
Absolutely. Saints fall to 2-4 today. Cougars win their 5th in a row, going to 5-2. Next week, Cougars are back at home at Deaton Memorial to take on the other St. Francis out of Indiana. As for our Saints, they are on the road, but not too far, just going up to see Judson for a match next Saturday. Another away game on November 1st down at Marion, and then the final home game of the season. Hope to see you out here at Memorial Stadium. That's coming up on November 8th against the other Cougars, the St. Francis Cougars of Indiana, before they wrap up their season on November 15th on the road in Bourbonnais to take on Olivet Nazarene, who's now ranked in the top 25. So congratulations to the Tigers for that one. That's going to do it out here. Your final score, 10-0. No offensive touchdowns at all today. A pick six and a field goal from St. Xavier are all the points. St. Xavier now 5-2 as we move on to the conference part of the season. Big thanks to Brendan and Jessica, the entire crew out here early. They're going to stay late. Thankfully, we dodged most of the rain. We'll be back at it again in a few weeks. Big thanks to you as well, Coach Dan Sharp. My name's Nick Jacobs. Have a great rest of your weekend. Go Saints.